Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Hey Nikki baby, how you doing, girl? Hey Florida babe, how you doing? I hope everybody had a wonderful start. You watching episode 7, Florida babe? Okay, I don't think I'm gonna be putting forth no spoilers. But I just kind of wanted to touch on the whole series because I was like, wow, it is crazy. I think they did a really good job. Um, I can remember I was young when all it was going on, and you really don't be paying no attention. But everybody heard about it. But it was so long ago. I had no idea all the information that they were sharing in the Dahmer series. I mean, they was really accurate about that because I've been doing some, I've been doing some. Once I got into it and I watched the whole thing, I went back to YouTube to find some, like actual courtroom footage and things of that nature, and I was like, wow, they were, really, really accurate. Netflix was real accurate when it came down to, you know, um, the way that they portrayed the case. And I was like, wow, I was, ooh, like I had no idea Jesse Jackson had got involved with it. It was a lot. I had no idea. I mean, it happened so long ago, and when you young, you ain't really, you know what I mean? You paying attention, but not. You on episode 5, Angie. I was like, child, it's crazy how they let him go. So yes, and one case in particular, that's what was most disturbing to me was one case in particular. But before we started talking about that, I just want to say I am praying for everybody in Florida, the whole state of Florida. If you are in Florida, oh, and hey everybody, why do they always want to call when I go online? Anyway, child, I'm not even answering that because I'm telling you, they wait till I go online. But anyway, hey Deborah, hey A Class, hey Allegedly, hey Slick Chick. Chick sense chick slick chicks clone. Oh, you the clone, but you want all the smoke. Oh, okay. Well, hey y'all. Hey, Tanya McNeil, if I didn't say that. But anyway, before like I was trying to say before, I was so rudely interrupted by the phone. If you are in Florida, the entire state of Florida, I know that there are some people in the beef sector that are in Florida. Hey Cloud, how you doing? You remember the Jeffrey Dahmer child? Uh you watching now, A Class? Child. Ooh, honey. Mm-mm. But people been talking about it for a while, honey. Folks were shook by this. I was like, oh. You can tell by the amount of videos and stuff been made about it since the Netflix series came out. That people were shook by this, but this actually happened, like for real it happened. Oh, and it was so gross when he was cooking that boy's liver. And then I heard I'm not even gonna get into this yet, but I had to say that part about the little liver. And then on an actual interview, he was saying that he would consume some of these people's body parts because he wanted to keep them with him. And that one guy's liver in particular, I believe that was the guy that was deaf. And I imagine he would want to keep him with him because I think he really liked him or whatever. But the madness just took over, of course. And I was like, oh, Lord, because put salt and pepper on the liver, child. Fried the little liver up in the skin. I was like, now, see, this is a lot. So, oh my goodness, it was so horrible. I mean, it's so gross and so horrible and so horrifying that if you wouldn't have known for a fact that it was for real, you would think that it would be like a one of them Stephen King novels or something. You know what I mean? That's how completely just whacked out the whole. I mean, just a pure demon. Do you hear me, child? It's just some new information because I was watching documentaries about this since I was a little boy. Oh, I'm talking about it only because of the Netflix. Have you seen the Netflix series Water Sniper? Netflix put out a whole series about the Jeffrey Dahmer case, and that's why I'm talking about it. There's no new info. I don't even know about new information, but we know I know that he got popped in prison. So you know what I mean. But I do believe that he killed. In my opinion, I think that he killed. Yeah, you should watch it. It's real accurate. And since you've been doing research, since you was a little boy, I would be you know, inclined to know what you thought about the series. So I hope that you will go back and watch it. And so yeah, see how it lines up with your research that you've been doing on it since you was a little boy, water sniper. So anyway, yeah, right, they did an amazing job. Even with the actor that played Jeffrey Dahmer and Niecy Nash, I think she did a great job. Can you imagine living beside that lunatic, that demon? Ooh, child. Mm-mm. But like I said, I went back and watched a whole lot of like court TV, videos from back then that are on YouTube. In case you guys didn't know, there's so much information about Jeffrey Dahmer, and the victims right here on YouTube. To where, and if you look at those videos and think about the Netflix documentary or docu-series or docudrama, however you want to call it, you'll be like, wow, that's really accurate. Like, that really happened. And like, yes, and I think that's why so many people were shocked, because there are a lot of people on here that wasn't even alive, back then, and then to find out something like that actually happened, especially in this day and age, and so, like, yeah, 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 it's very interesting. But anyway, child, y'all got me sidetracked. I wasn't even trying to go off into it like that. But first, I wanted to say that I'm praying for anybody that's in this sector or all over YouTube, wherever. I was listening to the news, and when it comes to that hurricane, they're saying Florida hadn't seen a hurricane this bad. I think they said in 100 years. The whole state is under a state of emergency. Um, I mean, just they're thinking it's going to be like a Category 4. And as soon as I start hearing these reports, they keep getting worse and worse. And I'm thinking, oh Lord, is this going to be like another Katrina situation going on, especially for socioeconomically depressed people? It's like, what if you don't have a car to where you can evacuate? Like, I hope they have I hope especially the Tampa. I hope Tampa has a plan. And I just want to tell you, if you from Tampa and you are or where you could hear me right now, you don't have a vehicle, you don't have a way to flee to higher ground or another state or wherever it is that you got to go in Florida. If it's anywhere in Florida, you can be safe. You can go to your local hospital, okay? And I don't even know if you can go like in between, but after that storm hits, right, as you hear it, coming in, and there's always a calm before the storm. If you cannot get out of that city, take your butt to a hospital that is far away from that body of water, that you can, and they cannot prohibit you from coming into that hospital. Okay, so if you can't make it out of town, say you got a car and you still can't make it out of town, right? Because then they saying people should start evacuating like now, But if you can't get no further, take your butt to a hospital that is not in the direct path of that hurricane, and so that they cannot permit you from going on in there, like I said, and so that you will be safe. Okay, if you can't do nothing else, or a fire station, or any of those public buildings, and they cannot deny you access. And this is one thing that they did not tell the people of Katrina when all that was going on. They cannot deny you access when it's a natural disaster, because that state has been already placed under, the whole state is under a state of emergency. They cannot deny you access to these government buildings. Okay? They cannot. They're not supposed to anyway. It's just a little something I learned from the Red Cross or whatever. But yeah, 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 yeah. But anyway, but like I said, I'm praying for all y'all, the entire state of Florida. Because my God, I hope this don't turn out to be another Katrina incident. This stuff is really real. I hope everybody is taking this seriously, because we know what happened via Hurricane Katrina. And I don't. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And so your parents are in Tampa, Angie B. I hope that you are checking on them. I'm sure you are. I hope that you are telling them to pack up if they can and leave now. Because it was either the mayor of Tampa or something like that. She was telling people to flee now, leave now. Just leave now if you can. And And so yeah, hurricane. You're in Florida, water sniper. Are you in Florida? But it's just my goodness. Now I know we laugh and we kiki and ha ha down here in these YouTube streets, but honey, let me tell you something. When it comes to death, dead is dead. Okay? And I don't wish nothing like this on nobody. And I don't care what nobody say. Please get yourself to safety. Please get yourself. Don't wait till the last minute. Just go on and go now. Lock your house up, lock your apartment up, and flee. Because these people ain't lying to you. Don't think you can ride it out, because no, you can't. Oh, you in Atlanta. Okay, well, it's like you can't ride it out. Just gone. That people tell you to leave. They tell you that your state is under a statewide state of emergency because it's hurricane. Believe them. Get up out of there. Okay, so that's all I want to say about that. Cause I can't. Cause now what we want, we don't have to deal with hurricanes, of course, in Tennessee, but we have to deal with tornadoes. Okay, and every time I look at the news, if they are even hinting of a tornado warning, I am immediately getting folks together. Okay, letting folks know, hey, especially young folks, in case you ain't been looking at the news, there is a tornado warning, okay, in effect, right? Pay attention, be alert, or your alerts on your phone, just whatever, just be safe, because I don't take natural disasters for granted. You know what I mean? I don't think it's gonna be all right. And so I don't want nobody to be hurt from this. So anyway, I hope that y'all be safe if y'all are down there, or have any loved ones in the entire state of Florida. I hope that y'all are calling, checking up on them, and everything. But anyway, my last two uncles live in jail. Is that right, Cloud? I hope that they are. I hope you're checking on them. Making sure they and I understand people. I also seen on the news where they say people were buying up provisions and all. Look, don't be worrying about. Hey, Seven, don't be worrying about no provisions, honey. Evacuate. Okay, you can stop by the store on your way out of town, but get out of there, cause you can't eat them provisions and you can't drink that water if you gone. Did you stop at the gas and go get you some snacks on your way out of town? Flee. I'm just saying. But anyway, okay, so I just want to say that. But moving right along, child. Moving right along. I'm glad you were here, Seven. I didn't get to look at your videos on Dahmer, Seven, but like I said, that whole Jeffrey Dahmer series on Netflix did. I started looking at it a bit. I stayed up all night watching it, right? And I was so creeped out by that. I didn't think that I would be that creeped out by it, but I was absolutely creeped out by it. It was absolutely demonic. And like I said, when I went on YouTube to see how accurate the Netflix series had been, and like I said, I was young back then. Some of you probably wasn't even alive, but I was young back then. So uh I don't know why a person would ask me that in here. What kind of question is that to ask me? Anyway, uh drop the link. Let's. Oh, cool, Seven, no problem. Let me grab it. But yeah, like I said, I went back to do a look to find some old YouTube videos, because you can find anything. I'm getting the I'm what do you call it, copying it right now, Seven. I went back to find some of those. I hope I copied it. I don't know if I did or not. I don't think I did, but find out some more how accurate it was. Right, I can't do two things at once. I'm trying to copy this link for Seven, and I'm like, wow. But when you hear his voice, cause I watched because I was particularly struck by the 14-year-old, the incident with the little 14-year-old boy, and the way that he spoke about that. I found a video from Court TV, because I dropped the link, Seven. So the little 14-year-old boy's family sued the city or the state or whatever, and they had Jeffrey Dahmer up there testifying, right? And as he was testifying to what happened, um, with him and the 14-year-old boy and the police, the little boy, getting out of the house, and and the police, pretty much flagging him down, and letting the little 14-year-old boy go with him because he said that was his friend and he was drinking with his friend on the weekend. What struck me was how calmly he was talking about it, and how he tried to disassociate himself with the incident. Like he was saying, he would say stuff like the drilling technique. So you took a drill to this little boy and you called it the drilling technique, when the drilling technique was complete and all of this and all that. And then after he did what he did with the drill to the little boy, he goes and gets a drink, and all of this and all of that. And then by the time he come back, of course the little boy is already at the house and all of this and all of that. Honey, it was a lot going on, right? And I was like, oh my God, how could I understand how why that family sued that police department, and those officers, to me, was complicit, because there is no way. And I've got a photo of the little boy, and I'm gonna show it to y'all. There is no way that this little boy looks old enough for those police officers to have thought that he was old enough to be Dahmer's weekend drinking buddy. Right? There's no way in the world that they thought that 14-year-old boy. It's just that they didn't care, and I was like, wow, wow, wow. I'm like, let me show y'all a picture of this little boy. But Seven, I dropped the link. She might be gone now. I don't know if Seven is at work or not. Well, maybe she got busy with something else. But there's no way. Anyway, that right there was it was a lot to deal with for me, because I'm like, wow. And then when you put that in the context of so many of our young our black and missing, especially teenagers, men and women, coming up missing in this country, and how they don't put Amber Alerts out on our kids like they should. It makes you think that, hey, what is going on when it comes to ours being missing, or our black kids trying to escape and not being able to get any help. Just it's just because just for anybody, this thing is horrific, but in particular. So this is the little boy at the time. You come, okay, Seven. At the time, I guess this is a 14-year-old. This is him at 14 years old. His name was, now I know that I mutilated his last name, y'all, but I had to sound it out, and this is how it sounded to me. This is his photo when he was 14 years of age. He was one of Jeffrey Dahmer's victim. He is the victim, 14-year-old victim, that got away, but then Jeffrey took him back to to his apartment to finish him off by way of the police, in my opinion, because they let Jeffrey Dahmer walk away with this little boy. But I don't see how you can look at this little boy's face and just think that he will be old enough to be Jeffrey Dahmer's uh, um, drinking buddy. Like, I don't even understand. I mean, look at him. He don't even look like an older teenager to me. Look at his little glasses and stuff. And so, but yeah, he was 14 years old at the time of this photo. And this is the photo that they had up when Jeffrey Dahmer, like I said, they had him testifying when the synthesin phone, Conrad synthesin phone. Like I said, I'm mutilating his last name. I'm horrible with names. Anyway, they brought him up to testify in the silver suit that the family put out against the city or the state, or the city and the state, or whatever, for the police allowing this little boy to go back with Jeffrey Dahmer to his apartment. Right? There's no way, if they would have looked this little boy in the face. And then he said the drilling technique, he had done the drilling. What had he drilled the little boy? Because now I didn't see him drilling the little boy. I saw the little boy on the steps, but I don't remember any drilling going on in the movie. Hey, Kwani, or anything. But I was like, well, Did I say it was just so much? Half of the time my mouth was wide open. Right. So anyway, I found some um like I said, I was looking at the YouTube thing, and this is what he had said when he was on the stand. This is him explaining how it is that he got the little Conrad back in his custody after the little boy had managed to escape. And like I said, the little boy, these are out of order. Uh, and this is what Dahmer is saying on the stand in the silver suit, right? He said, he said he asked him, I guess they asked him what the little boy was or whatever, right? So he said he was on the couch lying down. The drilling technique had already been applied, and I thought he was asleep. Now the way that he's saying the drilling technique had been applied, this is him like disassociating himself with what he did to that little boy, in my opinion. But that's how he described it, right? So let me see, this is 7 right here. Hold on one second. Okay, let me.
Hello.
Hey 7, what's going on?
Hey. So sorry, I had to take care of some stuff, but yeah. As far as I wish you would come over because, like I said, we're doing something new as far as my channel is concerned, and I want to explore like more like true crime and stuff like that. You know what I
No,
mean?
I love true crime. Every once in a while, I do a true crime video.
Yeah, and even like
hmm
just like an all around cave, like a girl cave, like a Anyway, so the whole Jeffrey Dahmer thing, I'm glad
hmm
you're talking about it because they said that he was molested by his father. Nobody's talking about
You know, I can believe that. And I can even believe that it was left out. Now on the series, didn't they ask? No, there's an Oprah Winfrey interview on her on YouTube. Have you seen that interview when she's
it. I think
interviewing the dad?
okay, so this is what I heard about it. I haven't seen it
hmm
just yet because like this information is coming in to me, but pretty much he kept shutting down any like molestation claims and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, she had to ask him twice, and then he finally said no, he had been molested, as a child. hmm
But here's the thing. His ex lover, a guy that he dated for like 2 years, if you watch like the Donahue show, this is back like on VHS, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He specifically said that that Dahmer first sexual experience was with his father. Okay,
hmm
they
I can
shut it down,
believe that.
and then he went to clarify. He was like, "No, I didn't say he was molested. I said
hmm
his first sexual experience was with his father up until he was like 16 years old." So
Mm.
I'm like, so wait, what is he talking about? Like, is this just like some type of incestuous type of thing? Because mind you, they said when Dahmer turned 18, that's when him and the mother and the father divorced. And then there was a scene in that show where they were talking about, hey, what am I going to do? And the father wouldn't take him with him. Remember that?
hmm hmm
So
hmm
I'm thinking Dahmer probably felt like abandoned by his father slash lover, his first sexual experience. And
hmm
that's why that was around the time he started drinking in class and everything. So it's
hmm
starting to all make sense
hmm
to me because it sounds like he was like
hmm
super angry. He didn't want to be with his own mind. So he stayed in an intoxicated state, right?
hmm
And then
hmm
he's going out and he's getting violent when he gets drunk, and they say he beat somebody black and blue, killed them, and he didn't even remember it.
Right, that's disassociation. That's what I was talking about when he said when I put this up on the screen when he was testifying in the silver suit that the Conrad, the little 14-year-old boy's family put on the city or the state or whatever, and he was testifying that the way that he phrased the drilling technique, he was trying to disassociate himself from the incident. And
Mm-hmm.
so, but now if you put two and two together, um, I was kind of wondering. I felt like they was leading out something because before the daddy even says in the show that he had those kind of thoughts when he was a kid, right? Remember when he said that? But even
Yeah.
before he's but even before he says that, you see the dad taking him out and picking up these carcasses and stuff and dissecting them with Jeffrey and all of this and all of that. And then it goes. It's too much left out in between that, because like, why? You know what I mean? That after that, then he let us know that he had those kind of thoughts. Then it'll pan back to when he was 18, and the mom took the other brother and left. And I'm thinking, okay, so they try to make it seem like, so clearly he has some kind of separation anxiety issues going on, right? And that was part of the reason for the cannibalism, right? Because Dahmer said in one of the interviews that I watched, the reason why would consume some of his victims is because he didn't want them to leave him, right? And if you and you know that I think he really liked that deaf boy. That's why he ate his liver. Do you see what I'm saying? Because he didn't want him to leave him, and he got triggered when Dahmer felt like that the deaf boy. Now he was gonna kill him anyway, but I felt like he felt like the dude didn't come back fast enough, and
No,
so that's why he went on to kill him. In my opinion.
no, what happened was in real life, because this is a dramatization, right?
Right,
So
right,
some things are real, some things aren't. The
right, right.
the relationship he had with the guy who was deaf, he had a relationship with him for about 2 years.
Okay, so I didn't know it was 2 years, though. I didn't
Yeah,
know it was that
it,
long.
it, it was about 2 years. Like they were friends and everything. And when Jeffrey Dahmer was in that manic state, I think him getting
Mhm,
evicted was like a trigger. He
mhm.
got fired and evicted around the same time. I think
Okay,
that was like a stressor, right? And
it
that's
could have
what
been. Yeah,
that's what caused like the weekly killings and stuff. So
yeah.
he messed around and killed the deaf boy, and then 3 days later he killed Conorak. That was the little 14-year-old who came over to his house. They
Right.
said that um the deaf boy was still on the ground in the bedroom when the
And
cops came.
yes, and they didn't go. Yes, when the cops came. Yep, yep,
And
yep.
they said
Oh my
that
God.
Jeffrey Dahmer was extremely manipulative because he was utilizing the whole gay thing, my boyfriend thing, to kind of throw the cops off, because the
Mhm,
cops didn't want anything to do with him because they was like, oh, it's a whole bunch of gay stuff in here. He was like, oh
mhm,
yeah, they said that was a manipulative technique that he was using because he
mhm.
knew that heterosexual cops didn't want anything to do with his lifestyle.
Right, and even then, even with that being said, I think that there's also that undertone of white privilege, that you're
Oh,
still dealing with, even in a situation like that, especially with that little Conrad boy. Cause I don't see how it just don't make sense to me in my mind how you can look at that little boy in the face and think that he's old enough to be a drinking buddy of Jeffrey Dahmer's. Like that
not
really
only
shook me.
not only that, but they say that Wisconsin, even today, is like one of the most racist states you could live in. Even
Well, I would
today.
imagine something. I would imagine so.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
Milwaukee, for God's sake. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It makes sense. And then, um, the way that they dismissed Niecy Nash's character, and that foul odor in that building, the whole thing, they wouldn't have had to tell me to move out of that place, because I would have left. I would have never came back. And you know what shook me? What shook me was the fact. Now, how accurate do you think it was a dramatization, or do you think it was real that he contemplating, to me, when he knocked on her door, when she had convinced the superintendent to evict him, and he brought over that sandwich, and the door was halfway open, halfway closed? Do you think that was just dramatization, or do you think like that actually happened?
that I don't know. Only because, and I think Glenda Cleveland, I don't know if she's still alive. They showed her picture, but
Hmm.
I don't know if that actually happened where he came over with the sandwich.
With the
And
sandwich, yeah.
but I don't think he was grinding up the victims. You know what I mean? I don't think he had a grinder or anything in there and he could make the food look like imitation food or
Right.
anything like
No,
that.
no, no. I'm thinking like he could have sprinkled something on the meat. You know what I mean?
Oh
Or
yeah.
and then though, if he would have sprinkled something on the meat, wouldn't she be able to taste it? So I was thinking maybe it was kind of like a dramatization, but it was so creepy that I'm thinking You know, it's absolutely plausible that he wanted to kill this lady because he's blaming her for him getting evicted and all this and all of that
Yeah,
because of the amount of complaining that she kept doing.
yeah, the dramatization, they made it seem like, Dahmer was like this mild, meek guy, but no, Dahmer was popping his ish too. He was sitting up there when the Nicole Childress, who was the girl who was calling in about Dahmer,
Mhm.
she was Glenda Cleveland's niece, right? So she was
Mhm.
talking about how she was going to her auntie's house and stuff. That was her niece, and they was calling in, checking on the little boy and stuff. She said that Dahmer was saying that she was a nothing but a black bitch, and she's just
Mm.
crazy. She doesn't know what she's talking about and stuff. So
Mhm.
he was popping off too. You know what I mean?
Mhm. And that's what, see, the one thing I didn't like about the one thing that I didn't like about the series is they didn't want to admit that clearly Dahmer has some kind of undertone of racism going on with him. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, I wasn't. They didn't never speak the words, and he, in the way he was talking in the interview that it didn't have anything to do with racism and all this. And I'm thinking, no, 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 no. No, there's always an undertone. Like for number one, at one point in time, because see now, this is something else I didn't know. I didn't know that he had killed any men except for black men. I didn't know that he had killed white men and about the little Asian boy. I didn't know anything about that. Because I only had ever heard about, and I was really young when that. Well, I was in my my early, not even mid 20s, my early 20s, I think, when that happened. So I didn't get all the details. Like I didn't even never know Jesse Jackson was involved, right? And so, uh, I don't like the way they try to make it seem like there wasn't an undertone of racism, right? But
Yeah.
now I felt like they tried to offset it with the fact that, and they were supposed to mention all of his victims, but because he had so many victims that weren't black, that would make you think that there's still not an undertone of racism. But I don't believe that
That's
because of
that's
the way
not
that he
true.
acted in jail,
That's
huh?
not true. That's not true. The majority of his victims were black
Hmm.
when he
Right.
ended up, even when he was at his grandmother's house, he was picking up black men.
Oh
The
my God.
first
No,
guy,
Seven. Let me ask you this, though. Let me stop you right there. I'm glad you said it because I would have forgot. But let me ask what you think about this. The way that they depicted it on screen, right, was the grandmother comes downstairs and she sees the guy, clearly not. He say he drunk and all this and all that. And the grandmama's like, well, I'm gonna sit right here with him all night, right? And then they showed her sitting there all night. Then she's walking with Dahmer and the black guy. She's helping Dahmer help the black guy to the bus stop, right? Now, we're not gonna know if anything like that actually happened, but it's just, what if something similar to that may have happened simply because she knew how her son was. Now I'm going back to Jeffrey Dahmer's daddy. And if something similar like that did happen between him and that grandmama, do you think that that would be the reason why she was watching over that boy like that?
that I don't know because we're getting a lot of this information from Dahmer himself. The way that
Mhm.
it actually took place was the guy's last name was Flowers, and
Mhm.
Dahmer ended up drugging him. However, he wasn't able to, kill him
Right.
because the grandmama ended up coming home. So
Right.
he was like, okay, it's too risky to do this. So what they ended up doing was taking him. No, the grandmother had Dahmer take him to the hospital. Okay, so she
Okay.
had him take him to the hospital, and the guy woke up deed, and he said he was missing $200 out of his wallet and his bracelet.
Right. Okay, so in reality, the grandmother had him take the
I'm
guy
going
to
in
the.
and out. Hello.
Okay, yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me? You did go out, Seven. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so yeah, so what happened actually was she had Dama take the man to the hospital.
She had him take him to the hospital. So all that stuff about him
Okay.
getting on the bus, that wasn't true. She
Mhm.
actually made him take the guy to the hospital. So Dahmer
Mhm.
ended up taking him to some hospital out there, and Yeah, they said he had ended up robbing him, but the guy woke up 2 days later. He completely overdosed. They said
Mhm.
that the concoction that Dahmer was putting in these people's drinks
Mhm.
was causing them to overdose, and if they weren't overdosing, they were well, no, actually, they were overdosing. There was actually two incidences at a bathhouse where they had to kick him out of the bathhouse because he was drugging men there, and then he was taking advantage of them because he's a necrophiliac. He likes to
Right.
have his way with victims, but he doesn't want them to be
Right.
fidgety or anything like that. He wants them in
Right.
a state of like being paralyzed, so to
Mhm.
speak.
Mhm. And
Okay.
I thought that they were letting us know that he was a necrophiliac when they put the mannequin in the bed. How he was doing the mannequin.
Oh, not
Uh.
even that. There was okay, so he saw a boy in the newspaper who had recently died. He had freshly died. They had a funeral for him. He tried to go out there and dig the guy's grave up so he could lay in the casket with the guy because he thought the guy was handsome. That
Whoa.
took place in the newspaper, and he said he wasn't able to dig up the grave because it was too deep and the soil had gotten real hard and everything. But they said that happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That is crazy to me.
Isn't it?
That, but
It's such
I
a
figured he was a necrophiliac. Like, why wouldn't he be?
yeah, but the whole, turning into a cannibal and stuff, like I said, he's such a complex person. Like
Right.
his evolution of the serial
Mhm.
killing just turned into something else. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
first it was I'm drugging people, then
Mhm.
I'm, killing people, then
Mhm.
I have to start eating people. It's like,
Mhm.
he needed
Yeah.
he always needed something new to kind of get his rocks off. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
said he was
Mhm.
extremely manipulative. That
Mhm.
Dahmer.
Oh, I mean, he's too calm. Even in the interviews that you see on YouTube, he's calm. He separates himself from the event. He separates himself from the victims. Um, he's too. It's just
He's a, he's
something.
a he's a classic sociopath, is what it is.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah.
classic.
That it's just. Yeah, even if you go for me, because I'm always on the girl. Look, he a whole demon. Okay. And
Right.
I mean, just I'm not even gonna go there, but that his demeanor and the way that his presence, even when I was looking at the videos, yeah, it's just not cool to me, not cool. I don't know, but yeah, I have to go look at your videos. But yeah, I'm glad you told me about. I knew. I feel like that grandmama knew that it was some extra going on with Dahmer, like I said, because of Dahmer's father. Now, nobody ever said anything like that to my knowledge, but I just felt like, and and by the way that the man said it himself, he had those kind of feelings and stuff, when he was a kid and all of this and all that, right? So, are you halfway trying to confess something to us? Because his dad was manipulative too, and I really felt like that his father wanted to kill his mama. Like I really, as much as hate as he had for that lady, I really felt like in the right circumstance, he would have killed her. Do you see what I'm saying? Like I really, that's how much hate um that he had for her. And even when he's on that Oprah interview, and I hope that you'll find it and look like it, the way he's talking so fast, and he won't hardly let Oprah finish answering the questions. He's just shooting through the interview. I'm thinking, dude, you talking too fast, And the way that he was like real extra. Now I don't know if he was really acting like in real life or not, but I can see him manipulating his new wife like that by saying, "Oh, it was my fault. I didn't spend enough time with him. His mom this and his mom that, and we argued too much, and I was gone too much." No, 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 no. You overdoing it. I feel like you didn't care about that boy, the mama, or nothing. Like I really do. I feel like he is just as devious as Jeffrey, because that's where Jeffrey Dahmer got it from.
Well, don't
Like,
know.
like,
They say that the mom had like mental illness issues, but I think the
right.
mama I think the mama was like incredibly ratchet, okay? And I think when, there's that scene when him and Glenda Cleveland got into it in her apartment, I think
Mm-hmm.
remember he said, you remind me of my mom. And
Right.
he didn't want to tango with Glenda Cleveland because there's something about his mom. He still had love for his mama, you know what I mean? So
Right.
there's something about his
But he had
mom.
hate for it too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no, he had love for her. He felt
Yeah.
abandoned by her because she took
Right.
the
True.
younger brother and bounced, right?
Right. Well, that's where the hate comes in. That's where the hate comes in. It's the love,
Maybe resentment, but I
but
don't in my
resentment
heart.
then, but not
Yeah,
hate. Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
believe he hated his mama.
Yeah.
I think he very much loved his mama.
Mm-hmm.
She couldn't give him the love that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That it's like that
Well, she
mommy
said that he
figure.
always weirded her out, and I do believe that because sometimes you can feel stuff you can feel the vibe coming off of people, and I do believe it's a little weird, but creeped her out, even if she was on drugs or drank or whatever, postpartum or whatever they said she had going on.
It
I
could
do
have,
think.
you know what? It could have been the father. The father could have, like, one thing about women, especially in these marriages,
Hmm.
she could have experienced so much trauma at the hands of the father just with the little
Yes,
psychological stuff that he was doing to
yes,
her.
because he
You know
was,
what I mean?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I think it was a traumatic experience because they said when she left, she ended up becoming like a counselor and everything. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
I think she experienced a lot of trauma dealing with the father, and then the father
Hmm.
messed up the son. That's what I think. I
Oh,
think
I
the
absolutely agree.
I think the
I,
key ingredient here is the father,
hmm.
and
Yeah.
Ryan Murphy did an amazing job telling that story. But you can
Hmm.
tell there's some
Mhm.
underlining type of
Mhm.
message that Ryan is trying
Mhm.
to put out about the father, but
Yep.
doesn't directly say it. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep. That's what I was trying to reckon with when I was talking like the grandmother incident and him overdoing it with the second wife, like he was doing too much. Like you was doing way too much. It's my fault. This and oh, and I'm here for you, son. I'm like you doing too much. And the way
Hello.
that he, can you hear me, Seven? Seven? Can you hear me? I think she
All
done
right, I
went
can
out
hear
again,
you.
y'all. Okay,
I
yeah, like and when the second wife went in there to tell him that the first wife had committed suicide, he's like, I'm gonna have to call her. And then he goes right back to typing, his book or whatever. I was like, wow.
Mhm.
Wow. And then she gave him that little side eye, whatever. And like I agree that the director was trying to tell us something without
He was
telling us.
trying, he was trying to tell us something about the father because so many people picked up on, I don't like the father. There's something up with the father. And I said, dang,
Right.
y'all got that all from that series? They was like, yeah, there's something up with the
Hmm.
father. So yeah, Ryan Murphy and the actor who played the father did a really good job at pushing
Yes.
that out without even saying a word.
Yes, yes, he that whole thing, that's just too much. Even the way he acted, the role, the words, the lines, it was too. You could tell there was something wrong with that daddy. Absolutely,
And here's
absolutely.
the thing that kills me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Uh-huh. I can hear you, Seven.
Hello.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, so here's the thing that's bothering me because I remember in the beginning of the series or the first episode, they were saying, like, okay, did you know your son was a homosexual? And I don't think the father said anything, but of course he knew his son had those tendencies.
Yeah, absolutely. Seven, you going out again?
Situation with the
Seven.
little boy, the Conrag's brother, the older brother, that he ended up going to jail for a year over because he was taking new photos of the little boy. And
Right,
I think he was like 13 at the time. So at the
right,
time, that little boy was 13, and then Conrad turned 14 like 2 years later.
right. Seven, seven.
Yeah, I'm
She
here.
probably driving, y'all. Oh, I was gonna say, I was like, I bet she's
Yeah, no,
driving.
I'm on my way home. But
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So it's such, but my whole thing is it's such a deep story. You know what I mean? I
Yes,
do believe there was underlining racial tones
yes.
because not only one thing about Dahmer, and they didn't discuss this in the series, but they talked about how manipulative he was in the sense that he was kind of probing his would-be victims. So he
Mm-hmm.
would always ask them like, "Hey, how was your coming out story?" So if a guy sat up there and said, "Oh, it's great, my family loves me," that that person wouldn't be a good victim. But what he was looking for was people who wouldn't be missed. So if a guy was sitting up there
Yeah.
telling him like, "Oh, my family, they hate me, they don't want anything to do with me," he said, "Okay, perfect. You're the perfect victim." So
Right.
they didn't highlight how calculated he was with actually
Right.
choosing his victims.
Right. Well, yeah, they overlooked it, and they like I
Because
felt like they could have dove a little deeper into that. Hmm.
remember in the beginning of the series when it was the three guys and Tracy was one of them, and he was like, "This guy done came in here and bought me a drink, and you bought us drinks like a couple of times, and you just get scared."
Right. Seven.
So, these people
Hmm.
are loved. Somebody's going to come looking for these people if I take them home. You know what I mean? But, then he ended up snatching up Tracy. But they said Tracy is actually met him at a mall. Okay. So he didn't meet them in the club, but that's just an idea of like how, Dahmer would get down. Everybody
Right.
wasn't his perfect victim because he couldn't get away with, what he wanted to do with a perfect victim. Back then,
Well,
we
that's
didn't
an
have, go ahead.
yeah. I was just gonna say this another thing. But I liked the series overall. But I think that they should have touched upon, how he stalked his victims or how he chose his victims. Because it seems too random to me. In the series, and you could tell, and when it comes to serial killers, we have learned that when it comes to them, it's not random.
They have a type. They have a
Yeah, they
type.
have a type. Mhm.
and and
Mhm.
and yeah, Dahmer's case, it was definitely ethnic boys. He had a thing for
Yeah.
ethnic boys, so they
Yeah.
could have been Hispanic, they could have been Asian, they could have been black, and I think he knew that
Yeah.
nobody would really care if he
Mhm.
was doing this to them.
Mhm.
Okay,
Exactly.
and that's
Exactly.
probably why he deviated from, because that hitchhiker dude was random,
Yeah, that
very
was
random.
random.
I
Yeah.
don't even think he had intentions of killing him, but when the
Yeah.
guy ended up wanting to leave, that's
Yeah.
what kind of triggered, whatever was going on with him, and that was like his first kill. After
Mhm.
that, he decided to start going after ethnic people,
Mhm.
and it was one of those things where it's like, okay, if you weren't racist, okay, and I'm just saying if, because we all know there is a racial undertone there, you definitely understood your white privilege, okay.
Absolutely, you understand. Which is the reason why somebody says down here that moved into a black community just to stalk black men. I mean that's a good point, and I'll have to agree with you. Because he knew it wasn't just random, number one, but he knew that these black men that he was killing, nobody was going to be or black or brown people that he was killing. Nobody was going to be searching for them like they would, an Anglo or whatever. So it was all strategic when he
there
moved into that neighborhood.
there were people sending him fan mail with money talking about, "Thank you
Yes.
for taking out the trash."
Ain't that something?
Thank
Yeah, and
you.
they tried to they had and that's true because I looked it up. They had some kind of grossed like superhero comic book thing. That was true. They weren't lying about that in the series.
Right.
Where the racist people made him out to be like a hero,
Yeah,
and so yeah.
they made him out to be a hero because they was like, you were pretty much taking out the trash. These are the
Yeah.
people we don't want to be,
Seven.
yeah, it was insane.
Hmm.
It was insane.
Yeah. Yeah,
So, but
but
here's the
that's how
thing.
deep.
They,
Mhm.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but that's how deep seated and despicable and just as demonic racism is. Cause I just and then who
Yeah,
knows what he heard in the home from his dad, you know, and do you know what I want to I wondered what happened when he was in the military, right? Like, and of course we'll probably never know, but I bet he had some incidents in the military as well, you know.
he did. Yeah, he was in the military. There was two people. One was a black guy, and they talked about how the black guy was drugged by Jeffrey and, sodomized by him in like a moving medical vehicle or something like that.
Mm.
And he ended up leaving the military because of that. And I think his life was like in a downward spiral. And then the guy who replaced him, I think he was like, I think he was a white guy. Jeffrey
Oh
did the
wow.
same thing to him. Did the same
Yeah, I
thing
can
to him
believe
too.
it.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, a lot. Some of it's opportunity. Some of it's like opportunity. Like, say you're in the military, right? And
Hmm.
say, it's just means an opportunity. Like he got that feeling came over him, and he went with it. You know,
They
it could have
said
been that sort of thing.
he kept a wine arsenal at the foot of his bed. Like he had tons of wine and liquor always in the military, like at the foot of his bed.
I can believe it, and that's why I say ain't no telling what all he did in the military. To other men. It's no telling,
And
because you best believe.
you got to think
Hmm,
about it. The military trains you how to subdue, your people, how to,
yeah.
combat and stuff. So he was probably using all that knowledge on them black men too.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I think he grew in the he got smarter, and he was
he,
less afraid after he
he
came
got
out of the
smarter. He
military.
learned hand to hand combat and all of that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, I
yeah.
thought that it made him, better at what he did. After he was, released from the military or whatever. And I also think that there was something else I was getting ready to say. Um, mm, but I don't even know what it was anymore. But I think that he was very strategic, like I said, in moving into that
Yes.
apartment. They made it
I
seem
don't
like
I don't
it
think
was
it was
just
one of those things where they were like, oh,
seven.
he knew exactly,
Yeah,
what he was looking for, and then they came to his house and they never walked back out. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And by the fact that that lady had been calling this foul odors and all of this and all of that, and they wouldn't come out and try to even investigate. And that with that little 14-year-old boy, it was beyond. They were absolutely negligent. But
Now, do you know that the cops involved in that, the two officers came back and they got Officer of the Year, and now that one of the officers is a police chief,
wow.
somewhere like in the suburbs of Wisconsin. Did you know that?
I did not know that, but now I seen on the show where they got officers of the year or something. They were being awarded with something, because they showed that, at the end, maybe in 8 or either 9 of the series. Now I did see that in the series, but I'm not surprised. Like, officers get rewarded to this day, for for shooting a black man down in the street like a dog, black man or black woman or brown person down in the street like a dog. They get rewarded for it even today. They patty rollers. They just doing what they supposed to do. So of course they're gonna get bonuses and stuff for that. So I'm not, I'm not surprised about that at all. Mm-mm, mm-mm. But the sick, deplorable nature of the thing, um, is, I think that he killed more than 17 people. I
Me too.
think he alluded to 17 victims because that's all he wanted to allude to. But he had so it was such a wide, and how do we even know how young he was? He could have been a teenager committing murder. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, get this. There was a guy named Dean Vaughn who moved into the apartment, and that was in the show too. And he's not on the victim list at all. Like the list of victims, he's not there. They said
Mm.
Dean Vaughn moved into the apartment,
Oh,
and
that
that's
is.
when Jeffrey Dahmer was, talking to him, getting to know him and stuff. They said
Mm-hmm,
Glenda Cleveland said that this guy was hanging out with Jeffrey,
mm-hmm. 7.
drugged, strangled, and sodomized. They said his pants was pulled down to his ankles. He was laying on his stomach and he was
Mm,
dead. He ended up killing that man in his own apartment. They said they
mm,
questioned everybody in the building about it, including Dahmer. Nobody knew what was going on. And so
mm-hmm.
that is a murder that still to this day has not been pinned on Dahmer. And that was in
Yeah,
the
but
apartment.
Right, but the lady, Niecy Nash's character, just do you think that's why they put that little part in there when he was talking, when she was talking to the guy, and then Jeffrey came up and started talking to him, and he said he had just moved in the
Absolutely.
build. Yeah.
Ryan Murphy, that's what I said. I don't think people understand how thorough this
Mhm.
docu-series was, because Ryan Murphy didn't have to put that up in there.
Right,
They
he didn't have to.
learned about Dean Vaughn. Okay, they learned that he was not initially in the murder list, and he was, and I don't think Dahmer was ever charged for his murder, but
Mhm.
it was the same MO. It was the same
Mhm.
MO:
Yeah.
drug,
Yeah.
strangle, yeah, taken advantage of sexually, and the only difference is he left that guy in his own apartment to rot, probably because
Yeah.
Jeffrey had like 2 people in his apartment rotting at that time.
Oh my God, girl, is this you, Duchess?
Yeah, that's me. Hey, hey,
Hey, I
hey.
just want to make sure. Let me take this. Let me take
Uh,
this break. And hey, George, before we get started, hey, George, but hey, Duchess, I know you've been following along too. And like I said, wow, you're right there in Milwaukee, right?
oh yes, and
Were
it's
you
the.
there at the time?
Oh no, girl, I was in
Okay.
Chicago, but
Oh,
he
okay.
was
Okay.
he was actually no. Okay, before I go there, seven. That's why I want to. I was on. I'm glad you brought that up about Dean Vaughn because
Oh, you
um
really quick, I put that up there for you, right? Because
yeah,
you was
and
asking about it.
thank you. He was a handsome guy too. I was like,
Yeah,
my God. But the thing about it is, I don't know if Dahmer did that or not because Dahmer usually he told who his victims were. You know, he didn't deny anything about, oh well, this person I did and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know why would he deny Dean Vaughn?
I think because he denied Devon, because when they initially asked Dahmer about it, he played stupid. He acted like he didn't know what was going on. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think that was the situation that they brought up again. I think they were just focusing on those people in his apartment, them torsos, identifying those people, all of that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Because
Yeah, but
he definitely because Dean that definitely was kind of like Dahmer's MO. I mean, he was sodomized, he was drugged, and strangled, but he was left in his apartment. And I was like, I
he
don't
was
know
left in
why
his own
they didn't like
apartment.
put you say what?
No, no, no. I was agreeing with you. Like, yeah, he was
Oh
left in
yeah.
his own apartment.
Yeah, so that was kind of weird why they didn't say that whole thing about him and stuff like that. But I actually, because I'm probably like 20, and I did something so crazy, and it was probably through the grace of God that God was like, "Don't come over here playing by this woman's house." So before I did my whole thing on it, I actually drove by the grandmother's house because she like 20 minutes away from me, and I was recording, and it was a couple other, and I knew it was gonna be a couple other people out there. It was another guy standing in front of the house taking pictures. It was
Mm.
another car parked across the street. It was like people like taking pictures of the grandmother's house because well, she don't live there anymore. She dead and gone. But so I drove down the street, and it was on my right hand side, and I was videotaping like, oh, this is where the grandmother lived, and he killed 3 people in the house. I went down to the in the block, turned around, came back. It was closer because it was on the driver's side. I got to the corner, turned on. I thought I got home, and I was on edit and everything. Only thing I got is the part where I turned the corner back onto Lincoln Avenue to come back home. They was like, you ought to be playing with us like that over here. But I was like,
Wow.
okay, it was probably for, they was like, the spirit, like, I'm gonna mess up his phone. He ain't
Wow.
doing nothing over here. But yeah, that
Wow.
whole thing, like the
Hmm.
the the the
Mhm.
club the club that he went, well, not the club, but one of the bathhouses that he used to go to, it was on the news a couple of years ago that they actually shut it down because it was they had a big breakout of syphilis and bed bugs in that bathhouse, and that was the one where the guy actually put him out at. But no, I wasn't here. I didn't come up here until 1990,
Mhm.
and but he was picking up guys from Chicago as well.
Oh
And,
Yeah,
wow.
and
And
you're right.
that's what I'm saying. Like he knew it wasn't just, well, clearly we know it wasn't just random, but like I just he had a type. Like Sam said earlier, he had a type. We know that when it comes to serial killers, they have a type, And I think that for whatever reason, he developed, uh, I don't even want to say it, pardon the pun, a taste for black and brown men.
But not
I
even,
and I don't, oh, go ahead.
not even, but wait, just real quick, not even just a type, but I think it had a lot to do with how people viewed him as well. Because you
Mm,
see this
mm,
tall blonde guy come into the club, and it's like, okay, immediately you're gonna think this person has money, right?
Hmm.
I mean, they said he was telling the beach guy or what, some guy that I think it was Smith, that he had connections to Hollywood and
In
record companies
modeling
and
and
stuff.
all that kind of stuff.
right.
Yeah,
Well, and
so
that had a lot to do with the
how,
$50 too. Yeah.
Oh, but Kwani
yeah,
had
but
a question.
I think it's how like us as minorities, we perceived
Mhm.
him that made
Hmm.
it so easy for him to pick us up and
Yes.
take
Hmm.
us.
Well,
You know
now
what I
see
mean?
now here's the thing. Um, I felt like there was out coming from the men. Um, and now I could be wrong. Now, see, sometimes, well, there's always, when it comes to some black people, there's a undertone of self hatred, whether you identify it or not, and because that there's that undertone of self hatred for whatever reason, right? Gay,
Hmm.
straight, green, black, or blue, right? And when I say an undertone of self hatred, I'm talking about it in reference to black people because I'm black, right? Um, but because of that, do you guys think that he may have known not the undertone of self hatred, but because of his white privilege, do you think that he may have known that it would be easier for him to pick up some black men, and offer them, hey, I'll give you $100 or $50 if you
Hmm.
let me take pictures of you. Now let me ask you that. Let me finish this. I just before I clicked on to do the video, I saw there's a court TV or something, when the one of the black guys is on the stand, and he said he had just started a job, and he was out with his friends at the mall, and Jeffrey Dahmer walked up to them. It was two black guys and a
Yeah.
white guy, right?
That.
And said he offered the $100, for him to take pictures, right? And he was contemplating doing the pictures for the $100 because he had just started a job. So don't you think that Jeffrey Dahmer may have been like using money, dangling like money, because he knew, like, he's in this area, a lot of black men don't work. I mean, all of these things, I think that he knew,
But
because he was stalking his victims.
the
Absolutely, because I mean, what do you do if you want to lure a child into your van? Hey, I got some candy. You want
Candy,
some candy?
right,
Mhm.
Hey, I got, there's an amusement park back here. That type of thing. So he's doing and saying things that appeal to
right,
his victims. Okay,
Yeah,
and he
right,
because
knows that most black men need money. That's
right.
it.
and the thing that, well, to answer Kwani question real quick, yes, there is people that live in that house where his grandmother lived. And also, Tracy, and you're talking about Tracy Edwards, Olivia,
Yes, his name was
the
Tracy.
the
Yes,
guy on the
I
court
saw him
case.
on the
Now,
stand.
yeah,
Yes, uh
now
huh.
his whole thing is, and I heard Seven mention Grand, the mall. That's where Dahmer met Tracy at the Grand Avenue
Yes,
Mall.
that's what he said. Yes, his two friends. He had a white friend with him, and he said the white friend was his best friend. And there was another black guy with him.
Yeah,
Come to find out, Dahmer gave the other two the wrong address,
exactly. Yeah,
and
exactly.
him and Dahmer got in the cab.
And went
Hmm.
to the house. But that Grand Avenue Mall, that was like taboo. I mean, when I moved up here, even when I moved up here, well, I've been up here. What Ken and I, we just celebrated our 13th anniversary. So I've been here 13 years now, and even they just started doing something to the Grand Avenue Mall like 2 years ago because it has such a stigma on it as far as like that's where Jeffrey. I mean, it was so many restaurants. I mean, like so many places closed down in there, but
Mm.
they renovated it, and it's like loft apartments all up above it. There are they got a big restaurants, like several different restaurants. So they are really building it back up. But at that, that was like taboo to go for a long,
Mm.
long time here in Milwaukee, and they
Oh
still.
wow.
And I did drive by the house where they tore down, and still nothing there. They still haven't done anything to that whole area. I mean, that
Well, I
where
hope.
the apartment building was.
Wow, I hope they consecrated the ground. Now I saw where they where at the end of it they were saying nothing. The black lady, Nieces Ness's character, was trying
Hmm.
to get a park built there, and to this day a park was not built there. And I really honestly wouldn't want there a park to be built there. Maybe that's just me,
Hmm.
because I believe that sometimes something so horrific can happen to you that you're not until you get feel justice for it, or you feel justified for what happened to you, and say you may have been murdered or whatever.
Hmm.
You are still, a part of your soul is still on that ground, and so for that reason, um, I wouldn't want the park to be
But
right there
I
anyway.
think that's the same thing. You got to think about 9/11.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
They still, they still built something like that in,
Yeah,
in memory of the people. So it would have been something nice if it was just a park or something. I mean, because yeah, the stuff was going down, because
yeah,
the stuff that he was flushing, because he was using stuff that turned
right.
the skin and all that kind of stuff to jelly, and he was flushing it. But
Yeah.
when they evacuate, when they execute or exclude a building and all that kind of stuff, they
Hmm.
take all the plumbing and all that kind of stuff out of the ground. So it's
Hmm.
not like, oh well, something's gonna leak out of one of the pipes and come up through the ground or something.
Right.
So they do get rid
Yeah.
of stuff like that. But I know what you're saying about like hey, they could be stuck in purgatory in that little area, and some evil could, or something just not right in the area,
Well,
stuff like that.
not even necessarily ego, just an echo.
Hmm.
You sound kind of like an echo, and then sometime when you have an echo, say, um, like you said, the house where somebody said in the chat that the house where Jeffrey Dahmer grew up, it was torn down, but the house where the grandmom, you said the house where the grandmom lived was still up, right?
Oh, it's still
And
there, yeah.
then I felt like what you went through when you was trying to get that footage and you
Hmm.
couldn't get it. I felt like it
Exactly.
was an echo, right? I
Hmm.
feel like I don't ain't no telling what all happened at that lady house. Not only with Jeffrey, with the daddy too, cause that daddy, no ma'am, I got a bad feeling coming off of him too.
Yeah, the
And
I don't think the dad ever stayed there. That was just a grandma's house here
mhm.
in West Allis. But I
Yeah,
don't think because go
right.
ahead, go ahead.
But I'm just gonna say, who knows what he went and did at that house? You know what I mean? Like you can't put nothing past nobody. This is me just in my brain, right? But what I felt like happened with you in that footage, I felt like it was a kind of an echo, right? I
Hmm.
felt like it was an echo of something. And when I mentioned that about the park, that's what I mentioned about that. But I think that when it came to that park, the reason why it was never built, it was just there was like the city not wanting to pay for the park to be built, like
Hmm.
in general, because of the neighborhood. They didn't want to make that extra expense, and all those black people that had been, killed there. And you got to realize this is back in the 90s.
Hmm.
Now this day and age on the internet, it would be a whole different ball game when it came to something like this. You see what I'm saying? It's a whole new world now. But back then, like I said, at the time, I remember hearing about it in passing. Of course, it just this white man, eating all these black people. He didn't kill them and be a serial killer and he done ate them. But I didn't even know that Jesse Jackson had went down there and advocated for those victims,
Hmm.
as well as the black. I had no idea until I started watching the series. I was young when all of this was going on.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, I was like, wow, I learned something, and it made me want to research some stuff about it. And that's how I got to watching those court TV videos and stuff, and that
Hmm.
Oprah interview. But what gave me the creeps, I'm glad I said that. What gave me the creeps about that daddy was the show, but it was seeing him, listening to him talk in that Oprah interview.
Hmm.
That's her on YouTube. That's what
Yeah.
gave me the creeps about that man.
Yeah.
That's what made me think he done did some stuff too. He just ain't never got caught.
And I'm glad you mentioned that.
Well,
Seven, you still here?
yeah,
Okay, I got a quick
yeah.
question. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I got a quick question for you. Okay, so I heard that you mentioned that whole thing about Donahue, and you talked about that yesterday, and I had saw it. You talked about it yesterday, which was Sunday. I saw it on well, whenever I saw it on Saturday. And one thing I didn't believe was that neighbor. They disproved that neighbor talking about what she said. It was I forgot. I
Yeah,
gotta go in my library to try to find out,
I
but they
know. Wait a minute.
disproved.
I know exactly what you're finna say. The
Yeah.
neighbor said that Dahmer. She thinks Dahmer had an accomplice.
Mm-hmm. And then
That's
and the
what she
family was
said.
beating him and all that kind of stuff. But that.
Yeah, and then she said she knew for a fact he was being abused. She
Mm-hmm.
said that, and
And
they
also
shut it down. Yep.
that other guy. Now Dharma had a type. Now that dude that was up there to oh, I was in a relationship with Dom. I mean, he was this kind of like chunky white guy, the one that you said got a weird face or whatever, but he was this chunky white.
Yeah.
Oh, and he was so jealous, and the waiters and stuff. I was like, no, boo boo. You didn't seem like Dahmer type at all. First of all, you're not attractive. Second of all, you didn't have the body that Dahmer was into. And mean and that could have been what 2 years later, maybe he got fat and dumpy, 2 years later, but still, he just seemed he wasn't Dahmer's type.
I think he was more of like a beard for
Yeah, he was.
Dahmer.
I think he was clout chasing, on the show. Like maybe he did know
I,
know
I think
Dahmer.
I think it was more of like a sexual relationship, and then he made it seem like that was his ex. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I got you. Yeah. Mm-mm. Oh, the hotel they
I,
talking about, the Ambassador Hotel. So, and Seven, you probably saw it, and Olivia, you probably saw it too. There were two. So there were several people that did escape, get away, but
Yeah.
the guy at the Ambassador Hotel, well, he took two young guys there, and they said they went in through some like side door or whatever and went up to the room or whatever, and they were drugged as well. But when they woke up, the one guy said, his draws were all funny and shit. But the other guy, when he woke, his friend that was sitting in front of the television, he said that his whole, his butt part of his jeans were cut open, like with some scissors or a knife. So he was probably sodomized. The other dude said he was sodomized. Neither one of them went to go get checked on. They was just, oh well, no, we didn't get checked on, blah blah blah. We just thought this, that, and the other. And so he was taking a couple of people to that Ambassador Hotel, and they was talking about like it was a exclusive, nice hotel. That hotel is over on Wisconsin Avenue. It ain't nothing great about that damn hotel. It's just a old hotel that got like if you go like to a speakeasy and you see like that old town kind of look in it, it got that whole feel to it. But it's not like you going to the Ritz Carlton or a Renaissance hotel or anything like that. So it was
my God.
but yeah,
That is
that's
crazy.
how a lot of those guys got away. The cops, they really dropped the ball though, because especially when they took the little Asian boy back into the house.
Yes.
But
Yes,
they
little
was
Conrad boy. Yeah.
yeah, because they was really trying to get out of there, because you got to remember also in 91, everybody was scared of what? AIDS. So that was the thing that everybody was scared of, AIDS and all this kind of stuff. So, and you don't, even in the show, the guy was saying, oh, I'm gonna wash up because I don't want to, go and, be smelling, or they knew the house was smelling, but, we don't want to be around these people that might have AIDS and all that kind of shit. So they was trying to get out of there. Somebody said, where did he get the drugs from? It was just sleeping pills. It was just over the counter sleeping pills. And plus, he probably was getting stuff from his grandmother, because I'm sure, she was old, and he was probably taking some of her pills, because he was stealing pills when he was in the army. So it was just over the counter sleeping pills,
And then
and he was crushing them up. And he didn't
you know
crush them
what,
at,
too,
at the
Duchess?
bar. What's up?
You know what, too, Duchess? When you said army, it made me think it. You know how they said, I don't know if it was on the series or on a video that I watched, when they said that when he was young, and how him and the dad would get get rid of the remains of the animals that they was cutting up, but they would put them in formaldehyde or something like that, and they was soaking them in formaldehyde. I kept thinking, where did they get formaldehyde? But then maybe back then you could get it from
You can
just
go
like
to a
anywhere.
Yep, you can go to an army surplus store and get stuff like that.
That's what I was getting ready to say. And did
They
he learn how to get that kind of stuff from the army?
He probably picked up a lot of stuff on. You got to
Hmm.
when he was in the army, he was like in the chemistry class or whatever it was, and they was telling him, what they weren't telling him, but it was talking about certain things, what it do, and
Right.
in the army they talk about how to prevent stuff from happening, how to make stuff happen.
Right. Right.
You got to think about the orange. I think it was called the orange something that they used to drug people back in World War II or something like that.
Like
Orange
Agent
agent.
Orange or something. Agent
Yeah,
Orange.
that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
So he was in it. So they knew what to do. So he stole some stuff from the army. Plus, when
Yeah.
he got back
Yeah.
home, he probably went and found the highest dose of a sleeping pill, crushed
Hmm.
it up, and that's what he was actually doing, putting
They
in their
said
drinks.
he was putting like 7 sleeping pills in a drink and
Hmm.
drugging these guys up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
just crush them up. Because
Oh.
that's one thing in the show that I was like, okay, it ain't no way he had everything prepared. He wasn't in no
Yes.
damn bar sitting up there crushing up no damn pills. He had that shit
No. That was
already
already
packaged.
ready.
It was
Hmm.
ready to go, just ready to put it in. And that's okay. This another thing. I don't know if it happened because sometimes they sensationalize some of the stuff in the show, but I believe Edwards did say this. Um, that when he got the drink from Dahmer, um, I mean Tracy said, "Oh, what's this foamy stuff at the top?" And he was talking about, "Oh, I probably didn't rinse out the glass or the cup or whatever enough." I'm like, "Okay, so you want to sit up here and drink your drink with some dish soap in it?" I'm
Right.
like, "Come on now, that little shit like that was like irritating me."
Right. Yeah. It make you. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess that's why he didn't drink it, right?
Oh, he drank some of it. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, do you think he drunk some of it?
Oh yeah, he was sipping. Oh yeah, and
Mm.
and I saw DL in your thing. Why did you have DL in there?
Oh, that's about this other case that I'm talking about this what this guy did in Chattanooga. Stay up here for it. We'll talk.
Okay,
This don't have nothing to do with Jeffrey Dahmer. This is
well,
something else
it kind of
entirely.
do because those dudes were kind of like on the DL. I mean,
Yeah, but
Tracy,
that's
huh?
yeah.
No,
This story right here is so goofy. It don't have nothing to do. I was gonna talk about the Jeffrey Dahmer thing anyway, but
mm,
I found out about this over the weekend, and since I live in Tennessee, it's just goofy. The whole thing is goofy. But
oh,
you got to
okay,
stick around for that. Not only that, you got to stick around because I want to ask you something about House of the Dragon. I got one question for you
oh
about House of the
girl,
Dragon, but
what?
let's just finish this first.
I watch House of the Dragon too.
I
Baby, did
heard
you see it last night?
where seven. I heard it playing in the background. I said, "Oh, that's she get ready to watch House of the
But
Dragon."
let
I
me
heard the
ask both
music.
of y'all this. Let me ask both of y'all this. But oh Lord, y'all keep making me. Can I just finish this while y'all up here? The last thing I want to mention about this Jeffrey Dahmer thing, right? I'm gonna pull this up so y'all can see this and y'all can tell me what y'all think about this too. And we gonna close that out because this child, the House of the Dragon, it was the guy that killed Jeffrey Dahmer.
Uh
Can y'all
huh.
see this on the screen? Christopher Scarver.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, and Christopher Scarver said that somebody mentioned it in the chat earlier, and I didn't notice that on the series, but he could have been doing it. The Scarver said, I looked at a video about Scarver, I think it's like 7 to 8 minutes long, and Scarver said that Jeffrey Dahmer was cutting up food in shapes of body parts, like taunting the other inmates with it and all of this and all of that. And we know that on the series they showed him like putting people his tray and people's chairs, seats, and just
Mm-hmm.
harassing the black folks, right? Harassing. But I didn't see that he was cutting up the food like body parts and stuff, right?
Well, what he would do, he was like, if they get chicken fingers, or fish sticks or whatever, he
Hmm.
would make comments like, because this was from other interviews from other inmates that are out out now or whatever, but they were in at
Hmm.
the same time. He would like take chicken fingers and like put ketchup on it and be like, "Oh, this is their penis." oh,
Oh,
this is their fingers or something. This is how I eat them. Or he'll take a
oh,
hamburger, take like they get hamburger or whatever like that, and he talk about, oh, this hamburger tastes better than his liver. And
oh,
he'll name like one of the victims. Oh, this hamburger tastes better than one of
no.
the victims. So he was doing a lot of dumb shit that he really
He
wanted
was
to die.
taunting them. Yeah,
I
he
was
was
going to say, do
taunting
you
them.
think he wanted to die when he was
Oh,
doing that?
oh hell yeah, because he knew
He
somebody
had
was
to be.
gonna get him.
Yeah, but check it out. Okay, and so we know that Christopher Scarver was already serving a life sentence, right? From the video that I saw, they say that Christopher Scarver, he killed a co-worker, he shot him in the head, and then he robbed the manager or whatever, and made him write him a $3,000 check and give him his credit cards. And when they came looking for Scarver, he was sitting on his girlfriend's. The girlfriend was pregnant at the time, but he was sitting on her porch, just sitting there, right?
Mm,
And when he was questioned as to why he did it, he said there was a family in his head that was telling him to do that, and it'll be
mm,
okay because this is how it's supposed to be, right? So clearly he was schizophrenic, right? So
yeah.
but that makes sense, with the way we saw him acting. Scarver in the show, and I
Mm,
didn't know that if that was accurate or not. That's what made me look at that video about Christopher Scarver, and also, it said that when he killed, I forgot what he said about the other guy that he killed, but I got another picture for y'all.
His name
And
was Anderson.
yeah, he said that God told him. He said God told me to do it. Said you will hear about it on the 6 o'clock news. Jesse Anderson and Jeffrey Dahmer are dead. Right. So clearly he was schizophrenic, right?
mm.
But okay, so I can go with schizophrenic for so far, but y'all know me, I be extra, right? Now, have y'all seen this movie called Frailty? It came out a long, long time ago.
I never seen it.
You ain't never seen Frailty?
Mm-mm.
Go back and watch. That'll be a good movie for you, Duchess, and you'll do a recommendation on it, right?
Mm.
It stars Matthew McConaughey, and it's called Frailty, right? If you ain't never seen it, go watch it, right? So
Okay.
in this movie Frailty, it was his family, right? Now in the family, two of the one of the sons and the dad was saying that God was, telling them to go out and kill these people, right? And they was hearing voices from God, and he would go out, and God was, telling him to kill these people and all of this and all of that. Now on off top, it looked like at first it's just like some kind of random horror movie or something, right? But at the end of the movie, you start to question, hey, were they God's hammer or something like that? And
Mm.
so that movie immediately popped into my mind, when I seen, what Scarver had to say, right? And by the way that he walked into that courtroom singing and all of this and all of that. And and then I got to thinking, well, what if he heard that for real?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And
like,
and
I don't
it's
know.
crazy how Dahmer's first victim was killed with the bar from like a weight thing, and that's exactly how he was killed.
Right, right. Now,
Yeah.
see, that's. Child, get out my brain. But I was thinking that too. I was thinking, I'll be putting two and two together too much sometimes. In
Mm-mm.
my mind, it always equal four. But yeah, like I said, like with the echo thing, like I believe in them echoes, and I believe, I think that, um boy, that's just a sick individual. He gives you a whole weird vibe about him and that daddy. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so it's not out of the realm of possibility for me to have Anderson to have Anderson. I mean, not Anderson, but Scarver thinking
Discover.
that God done told him to kill him. And what if he did? Okay, so I don't know. I don't
Child.
know. But
Mm-mm.
anyway, yes, yes, yes. But that series is so good. Like I said, I remembered in passing the Jeffrey Dahmer thing. Like I was young, I really didn't get that into it. You know, you living your young life or whatever. But on retrospect, it did down from when I seen it last week. I'm like, wow, I can't
Mm-hmm.
believe I didn't pay attention to all of that.
Yeah,
Like back
it's
then.
that's crazy. I mean, that's why I was telling Seven. Seven, you still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Watch. It's on Netflix. I sent you a message. It's called Conversation with a Killer.
Oh
They
yeah.
Yes, that's coming out later on, right?
No, but they already have several out there. They got one on
Oh,
Eileen. They got one on Eileen Warris. They got one on Ted Bundy. They got one on Jeffrey Dahmer, and I think they got one on Ed Gein. Well, no, they
okay.
don't
So
have
they're
on.
gonna do
They
another
don't.
one on
They
Jeff.
don't have one on Ed Gein. They got one on those first three: Eileen,
Yeah.
Ted Bundy, and John Wayne Gacy. Now, the one that's coming out October the 7th is the one on Jeffrey Dahmer,
Yeah, that's the
and
one I'm talking
and
about.
of course we're going to hear a lot of stuff we already know.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought I knew everything about Eileen Warris. I thought I knew everything about Ted Bundy and excuse me, and John Wayne Gacy. But in those conversations, they really put out a lot of more stuff that we didn't know, and that's
Mm-hmm.
why I think they're they're really good and interesting to watch. So that's could be some like
Yeah.
some go-to, like if you want to get some more information, if you want to really
Mm-hmm.
go into it on talking about the
Yeah. Now I
crazy
haven't
stuff.
seen the series on Netflix. I've never actually clicked on and watched an episode, but I have seen it.
Yeah,
When it comes to that conversation with Suki, yeah, I done seen it.
yeah, they're really good. They're good. And there's another thing on what you call it, on, I think it might be on, it's a channel called Reels, Reels. They got one. I live with a serial killer, and that's
Mm.
like a brother or a sister or aunt or uncle or mother or father that that was living with a serial killer and stuff like that. Because they talked about that black guy in Ohio that had all those bodies stacked up in his house.
Mm.
And that was it's crazy.
Mm. To me, even when it comes to the FBI, and doing the, what do you call it, the profiling on
Hmm.
serial killers and stuff, I think
Hmm.
that there are probably so many more black serial killers than we even know about that are even profiled. Because I think they are so focused on the Anglo profile, to
Hmm.
where I even venture to say that they feel like maybe even black folks, I mean, they know it now, but like at first when profiling, whatever, when they started doing the profiling, felt like, we wouldn't even be smart enough to be serial killers or something
Well, I
like
don't know
that.
about smart enough. I
And that's
just
to a
don't.
detriment.
It was just like
Yeah.
that, because like when I was saying like, oh, a black man, that's some white people shit. Like, what the fuck, we don't do stuff like that. And then, baby, shit, it start coming out that finding these black serial killers, and usually in
Yeah.
like the ghetto neighborhoods and stuff like that.
Right.
Because ain't
Right.
nobody really coming looking
Checking for
for
black people like that.
a crackhead like that, or
Mhm.
she out there
Mhm.
prostituting, so they ain't really checking for her. You
Mhm.
know what I'm
Like
saying?
Cleotha Abston. Like Cleotha. Y'all heard about Cleotha, right? Killing
Mm-hmm.
that white woman. What was the name? Elijah Fletcher. Ain't
Mm-hmm.
no telling how many women he done raped and or killed in the black neighborhood. There's one woman that spoke out about, and they just, her DNA, her evidence, her rape kit was never entered in, and they didn't even bother to investigate her case.
Mm-hmm.
And if they and she had reported what Cleotha did to her a year prior to Elijah Fletcher being raped and murdered, and maybe if they had followed up, Cleotha would have been in jail instead
Mm-hmm.
of out here another whole year to
Yeah.
do that to Elijah Fletcher. But because they didn't think enough of that woman, and she was 4 months pregnant at the time, but because they didn't think enough of her case, and I believe because she was a black woman, and mind you, this is Memphis, Tennessee, okay? But because they didn't care enough to look into it, that's why he was out the whole extra year before
Mm-hmm.
he did what he did to Eliza Fletcher.
Yeah.
And
And
so, yeah,
that's it. And they say there at least, they say um the like FBI reports, they said there are probably at least 20 serial killers out here right now that just haven't been caught yet.
yeah, probably more than 20. But let me say this, y'all. Black Sweet, I know you probably don't mean no harm, but if you can please take your comment out my chat about the delectable N word, that's insulting to me. So I don't even know if that's an actual book or you trolling. And if it is an actual book,
No,
I'm sure nobody wants.
that is a real book. It's a real book. It's
Is it really?
yeah, it is. It's not. That's what literally what it's called. So yeah.
Right. Is it like about cannibalism of black people? Because I don't want to read anything like that.
No, it's I don't know. I can't say exactly what it is, but I know for a fact
Hmm.
that is.
No, I don't even like the title. I would never pick it. I would never pick it up. When I'm offended by the title, but that's just me, right? So
Those be the best books, though, the ones that get your attention. But wait a minute, I want to know what you wanted to say about the House of the Dragon.
yes, before I get to this last story, what I want to say about House of the Dragon is, Duchess Kelly Love. Do you remember when we had that conversation about House of the Dragon, and I told you that Sir Kristen wasn't no good?
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe me now?
Well, because his heart is
Damn it.
broken.
I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. He even more dirty. He did more stuff than taunt Harmon Strong about his kids. See, he did more than that. Now, see, that was a hater move right there, right?
Oh,
He was
definitely.
hating. Now you know that was a hater because he didn't have to go there, and the way he wasn't paying attention to them boys and what the kids do, what the kids do, Kristen, what the
Baby.
kids do, and then the way he beat up old boys. He just came in at the wrong. It just wasn't the time. It wasn't the time. But now
Well,
starting out, yes, his heart was broke because his virtue. He gave his virtue.
mm-hmm.
And even in the book, he did. Just pretty much dismiss his vows for Rhaenyra. Even in the book, he did do that. But he got real bitter, and he got even more dirtier. In the book. You know what I mean? That little stuff he did last night, that was just really nothing.
But
But they
the
didn't use the C word in the book, though. I'm thinking, I didn't see that in the book.
but the
But,
reason why he killed Joffrey is because Joffrey, knew his secret. And Joffrey was kind of like taunting him because Joffrey did two disrespectful things to him. When Joffrey was sitting up there telling him, like,
right.
yeah, I know your
He was
secret
taunting him.
and you
Yeah.
know my
Hmm.
secret and
Yeah.
you better be on the hush.
Right.
Joffrey tapped him on the back, on his lower
Hmm.
back. But the main thing that how he disrespected Christian is when
Hmm.
Joffrey walked by him, he bumped into his sword.
Hmm.
And that is a big, big no. So you
Well, that
talking
too. I
this
mean, the man
shit,
was already hurt. Right. Right.
and
It be
and then you
mhm.
don't bump into my sword like that and really show me
Right.
some disrespect. So that he kind
Right.
of like shoulder brushed him a little bit. So
Right.
that's
Right.
why Joffrey like, oh, okay. I mean, that's
Yeah.
like Christian was like, oh no, baby, I'm about to get you.
Yeah. Yeah. They had to. Of course, the chapters are longer, you know what I mean, in the book, but that pretty much summed it up. It's the general idea, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean. But Sir Kristen, he dirty. Like you start out at first, you feeling sorry for him. His heart done been broke, and all of this and all of that, and blah blah blah. Allison's crazy ass. It's just like a lot going on with that chick. I can't stand Allison. I'm so glad they
I
showing
wanna,
her.
I do want to say something as far
Mhm.
as like the two sons go. As
Mhm.
with Renair, right?
Mhm.
It's being speculated that that oldest son could
Mhm.
be Christian Cole. Yeah, it
I
could be
know,
Christian Cole
right? I
because they
know.
never showed her taking the Plan B potion.
Right. So we don't know. I don't know if it's gonna circle around, right?
Wait a
But
minute,
it's
hold on, hold
not
on, hold on.
mentioned in the book.
Wait a minute, hold on. You said say that one more time now.
That could be
What
Sir Kristen's baby
the
son.
Plan B potion tea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause see,
we
they
never,
jumped a.
we
They
never
fast forwarded it.
We
Right. I'm
never saw
sorry,
her
Stephanie.
take it. She just ended
Right.
up marrying old boy and then popped out
Right.
her first baby.
Right. But
So
see, mind you, it's quicker in the book, Seven. Cause check it out. Even when they showed that boy, he could be. Oh, they fast forwarded to 10 years, like a decade, right? 10 years into the future, right? That boy looked like he could be older than 10 years old, right?
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah,
not even in the book. I was trying to think, and I was trying to think. I'm thinking, is that Kristen's child? Was it
yeah.
ever even
Are you
hinted
talking
at?
about? Are you talking about? He could be Rhaenyra's son.
Yeah,
No,
Rhaenyra's son, her
so
oldest
we're
son,
talking about Rhaenyra's son. We're talking about that oldest son.
the oldest one.
Christian did that hater move with, the other two little boys. They're saying
Right.
that could possibly be Christian Cole's son,
Right.
Oh, okay.
because
I see what
Rhaenyra
you're saying.
never took that tea that the Grand Maester brought her.
Well, how
Right.
you know?
But see,
We
that's the
don't
thing we don't
know.
know.
No. We're going off of like what we've seen, and we did
Okay.
not see her take that tea at all.
Right.
Yeah.
And
But
even in the books, I was trying to remember. I was like, is that his son? Was it a mention of that being his son? Cause in the books I thought it said that her three boys was by Harlan Strong.
yeah, Harwin, yeah. And
So I don't
I'm going
know.
with that. But yeah, they were 10 years in.
Into the
So they went 10 years in. So Jace, he looked like he like 10 years old. And then his little brother Luke looked like he probably around 6 or 7 or whatever. And then she just had the new baby. But I'm gonna go with all the babies are Harwins.
right.
Strong. But
Yeah.
hey,
And he
could
was
be,
maybe just tall like his daddy,
so that that could be like in the realm of things. But I did my live today. I did my rethink on it. So why do you think that Sir Cripple, I call him Sir Cripple, and that's Loris,
Lars.
yeah. Why y'all think they cut out the tongues?
So they wouldn't talk, so they wouldn't ever say nothing. So they
But
wouldn't
then
ever say nothing.
but what
Now he
about
could have just killed him afterwards, but did you see what they had on the little pendants and stuff? Because they are going to do more dirty work for him.
mm-hmm,
You see what I'm saying? That's why he like his terrorist squad or something like that. You know what
exactly.
I mean? And so
But
that's why they cut the tongues off. Because he after they did the deed, he could have just had him killed.
mm-hmm. But
You know.
I was somebody made sense. I mean, it makes sense to me what the answer was, because I was like, oh my God, Bab, come up here. I need you. I need to, because I want to know why he cut out their tongue. I said they can write,
Talk.
but she
But
said
not
that
necessarily.
they can't
You know.
write because they were the lords of the low. They were
Right.
peasants, and they
Read or
damn not
write.
exactly. So I was like,
Read or write.
oh, that makes sense now. That's
Mm-hmm.
because he was, and she said that's what Varys used to do. His little spiders or whatever. None of them he used to cut their tongue out, and they were
That's true.
kids, so they didn't know how to write or read
That's true.
either. So I was
That's
like,
true.
oh, it makes sense now.
That's like
Okay.
a different play on now. I know y'all call upon Game of the Thrones. You know how like it was the little what do they call them? The little butterflies, the little sparrows, or
Little
the little
spiders.
kids. The little
Yeah.
kids would just go back and tell little stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the adult version. Do you see what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
And so you cut out the tongue. They can't write. They can't read. They can't tell nobody now. And you can use
Mm-hmm.
them over and over again. Because really, all you got to do is keep blackmailing them to I'm gonna put you back in a clink or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Or
I'm
just
gonna
kill
put
you
you back
dead.
in jail or just kill you dead.
Yeah. Because
You ain't nobody. Don't nobody care about you.
because he said I'm gonna give y'all mercy. So, Seven, you caught up on everything?
Yes.
Okay. So, what did you think about yesterday's episode?
I mean, I liked it. So one thing is the girl ended up marrying Damon. Cole is
Lena.
daughter.
Rhaenyra,
No,
Lena, yeah,
Lena. Lena.
Lena,
yeah,
yeah.
Lena.
And then she couldn't have. So my whole thing is, what happened? Like, was the baby just too big, or she
It
didn't
was
want to?
it was probably breach or whatever. The same thing that happened to Lena was at the beginning, the first episode when Ama
Mm-hmm.
Aaron, how they cut that baby up out of her. That's the same thing that they was gonna try to do with Lena. But Lena wasn't going out like it because she had said earlier, just a few minutes earlier, that she want to go out like a dragon rider. And
Yep.
when you go out like a dragon rider, you get knocked off your dragon through fire from another dragon because y'all fighting, right? So she crawled her butt outside and she went out like a dragon rider. But
Yeah.
see, the thing that got me about that was I
I
don't
don't.
understand how I don't understand how uh oh, what is his name? What is the dragon's name? I don't understand how he was able to do that. Because see, I don't know if it's the book
Was
before
it?
or the
I think
book
is it
after.
Lorax or something like that? He's like the
It was,
old
it's
ancient
the
dragon.
Valerian. Valerian,
something like
Vagar. Thank you,
Vagar. Yeah.
Vagar. Now, there after that is I don't know if it's the book before or the book after that. Dragons can't kill Targaryens, right? They can't kill Targaryens, but I don't know if they can kill Valyrians. But in this book, Fire and Blood, they kill the Targaryens and
Mm-hmm.
Valyrians. At the end of it, because it's all out war, like we already know how it ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you not keeping up with the books, you be like, hold on, wait a minute, I thought they couldn't kill Targaryens, but then
No,
she's Valyrian.
no. I think it's a situation where no, they can't kill them. They are the dragon lords. However, she gave her dragon a specific thing to do, and
I know it,
she
right?
told him through Karis, and
Yeah,
you could see he was reluctant at first. She
and
had
he
to
didn't
say it
want
like 3
to.
times. Yeah.
Yeah, and she was like begging, and she's like, oh, like Vega. She just like please was on her face, and he went on and done it. You know what I mean?
And I
But
think
who
that
gonna ride that dragon next is gonna get the hell on
oh,
my nerves. Y'all just watch this shit.
oh, I thought you was getting ready to spoil something. I was
I ain't gonna spoil nothing. I'm
like,
just mad. Ahead of time, I'm mad. Just let me say it.
but do y'all think that his what I call him? I was calling him Armand, child. That's Allison's second son, the one that went down into the dragon underground. Y'all think he kind of
Aemon.
slow? Aemon,
Aemon.
yeah.
Aemon ain't slow. Aemon dirty. He dirty. His
Okay.
older brother dirty. His brother after that is they all dirty. Or they a little mental like or a lot mental like Allison and her daddy.
Okay.
They all is just dirty.
Okay. Cause I was like, he seemed kind of slow. I was like, girl. I was
He
like,
ain't slow.
I
He just
was
want a dragon so bad. That's why it's gonna piss you off. Like, yeah.
I kind of know where you was getting ready to go.
Yeah, he
I
unworthy.
watched somebody, and because they gave the preview, they showed the preview for next week. So
Okay.
I got that, but they gave the preview for next week, but then they added on some spoilers.
Extra.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
was like, I said, it's okay. I really did want to know what they was talking about because I was like, damn,
Mhm.
I want to see it. Even though you hear, but when you visually see it,
Mhm.
it makes it even better. But I was like, what he said was like, damn, I ain't want to know all that. So I
But
unsubscribed to that person. I was like, I don't want to hear what you
yeah,
got to say no
don't
more.
listen to the spoilers. But my thing is, like, even though I read the books, the show is so well done. It's like I never even heard the story before,
Hmm.
and it make me want to go like after the whole thing, however many seasons they have of it. I'm gonna have to circle back around and read the book again, but not until then. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they adding stuff and they taking stuff away, but in order to speed it up. But
Hmm.
the visuals, I think it's the visuals for me.
Hmm.
Because when them dragons come to life, when they pop, it's like they popping out of your head. Even Vagar, like, oh my God. They always said that the Vagar was even in the book, he's the oldest living, largest dragon, and he was around when old Valyria stood.
Hmm.
And but the
But you see how, I mean, you saw how big he was because when you
he
saw
is
Lena,
massive.
when Lena was on him, I mean, she
Hmm.
looked like a pea on a loaf of bread. I mean, he
But
was just that big. But baby, when she said Dracarys and he blew
hmm
that big flame of smoke in the air, and
yeah.
Damon went through it, I thought that was so sexy. I was like, oh my god, that is so cool. But yeah, they did a great
Well, and
job.
then the thing too about what they didn't show though about Lena, the only part when they skipped over because do you remember when she was walking in a park talking to Viserys
Hmm.
when Corlys wanted Viserys to marry his daughter and she
Yeah.
was asking about Vagar. She had to prove that she worthy for Vagar. She actually goes to find Vagar because Vagar was old. He didn't have no rider, and he pretty much went away. He was in a cave. She went and sought out and found Vagar, and she would feed Vagar goats and stuff, and all of this and all of that. And then, he finally deemed her worthy,
Hmm.
and that's how she got to ride Vagar.
Okay.
She earned it. She earned riding the back of Vagar. But the next person that ride Vagar is not worthy. I'm just saying that I ain't saying nothing else. And I got right. He
Yeah,
should
but
have blew him. They should have dropped cars on his bone.
I heard about it through that spoiler. And I was saying, oh my God. But
He not
anyway.
worthy,
Hmm.
but it was so sad about Lena though.
But she went out there and you know,
She said she
Dracarys.
wasn't going out. Well, like she wasn't going out like Amy Aaron. And then too, I think they should have. I wish they would have did a couple of more episodes on the adult Lena. Because she was so badass, just like Lena or her brother was badass when they was
Hmm.
fighting the crab man. She a badass too.
Oh, okay.
In the
But
books, Lena and
I
Lena, they badasses for
and
real.
I don't think she was happy because Damon, she wanted to go back to her daddy's castle, and she missed
She
her
did.
brother and all that kind of stuff. And
Now that was
he,
in the book.
yeah, because
Yeah.
he was kind of like like shrugging her onto the side, and so she
Hmm.
wasn't really happy. And then she didn't want to die. I mean, I'm sure she heard about how Viserys' wife died, so she was like, I ain't going out like that."
Well, when it comes to her and dying the dragon's rider's death, that was
Hmm.
cause she badass. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I'm sure she heard about it too, but she wanted to go out like that
yeah.
because she was a dragon rider. She was like Damon or Lane or shoot Rhaenyra, or either Viserys's sisters, the Mad King's sisters. They all fought in the war, and the sisters fought right along. They were dragon riders, and they all fought in that war together. They was some bad bitches.
Okay.
Okay. And so that's why Rhaena is a bad bitch. Just like even fast forward to Daenerys. Like she a bad bitch. She went crazy, but she was still a bad bitch, right?
Hmm.
Them dragon rider women, they some bad bitches. So when
Yeah.
Lana says she want to go out like that, like a dragon rider, that's how she want to go out.
Okay. Also, because I'm about to get off here, my last thing I'm gonna say real quick.
Hmm.
They think um Khaleesi might be coming back.
I
She
hope so. I hope she come back and
be
because Jon Snow. Hmm.
because okay, so Drogon flew her off. We
Yep,
don't know where
yep.
he took her,
He
but
took her to Dragonstone. I'm telling you right now. Wait, the book ain't even been wrote yet. But let me go to
but
write the
wait a
book
minute.
for all more.
But maybe when he took her back to Dragonstone, we could have had a
Hmm.
red witch there,
Hmm.
and a red
Not even
witch.
that. He didn't even have to do that. Because I don't know what the evolution process is when it come from when it came to Valyria and them damn volcanoes and the
Hmm.
people and the dragons. But some kind of way they merged, right? Because when you look in the dragon's eyes are human eyes, right? When you like you look inside like Drogon, right? Every
Hmm.
time they showed up a close up on Drogon, if you noticed in Game of Thrones, his eyes look real. Like he
Well,
didn't never like John. He didn't
they
never trust John. You know.
they look like reptilian eyes, but there's some kind of emotion
Right, right. That's what I mean by
behind it.
human. They look like human eyes, right?
You know.
So I think that Drogon is going to. I think that in my mind, um, he took Daenerys back to Dragonstone, and I don't know how he. I don't know if he reanimated her with dragon's blood or now. There are other folklore books about dragons, right?
Hmm.
And in some folklore books about dragons, and I don't need to be saying this because people love saying she thinks she's a smart person. No, I just like to read. That's all. I like to read. But they will, if the dragon rider has died right in battle or something, and they can reanimate them. What they'll do is they'll cut their heart open and take a little piece of the dragon heart out and put it inside of the dragon, rider, and
Hmm.
it'll reanimate them. So
Hmm.
I'm thinking he gonna reanimate Daenerys because they said that it is officially a Jon Snow limited series in the works. You
Hmm.
know what I
Oh
mean? But
yeah.
I'm
Oh
wanting to know
definitely.
if that's gonna have something to do with Daenerys. You
Well,
know.
she was there. It was an interview, and they were saying that she was kind of like hitting on it, hinting on it, like, oh, maybe you will, maybe you aren't, and stuff like that. So she
Hmm.
might be back somehow. I think the fans would really like to see her back.
I kind of appreciated the way that she died.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she should stay dead. Now, one side of me want her to come back, but not crazy no more. Not batshit crazy like the Mad King.
Mm-hmm.
like her granddaddy. Now if she can come back and not be batshit crazy no more, I'm cool with it. Her and John can go off and make more Targaryen babies together. Oh, okay, I'm cool with that.
Oh, that's the other thing that like Renera on tell Allison, like, oh, well, maybe Jace can marry Helena.
Mhm.
And but the spoiler that I saw,
Mhm.
you know where I'm going. I
Mhm.
was like, oh
Mhm.
my God. But
But
Helene,
Allison already done said over her dead, cold, dead body.
yeah, but I know Helena gets with somebody else. And I'm like,
Mm.
oh my God.
Yeah, it's a story
Any
to that too,
yeah, yeah,
and I'm sure
yeah.
that they go. That's very interesting too.
They gotta get out of
Just
here.
like, mind you, just like Cersei kids didn't come to no good end. Crazy ass Allison's, her kids ain't gonna come to no good end either. I'm just gonna put it that way. Okay,
Okay. All right,
shit.
7.
Yes.
I'll
I had fun. Thank you guys for allowing me to come up. This
Thanks,
was a good
Seven. I
conversation.
appreciate y'all.
see you
But it's only
later.
gonna get better, y'all. House of the Dragon. It's only gonna get better. I
I'm looking
love.
forward.
Every episode, like you said, well, this is my favorite episode. This is my favorite episode. Last night, that was one of
Mm-hmm.
my favorite episodes. Like for
Gotcha.
real.
Well, 7,
So yeah.
good luck with your true crime.
Oh, absolutely, Seven. I forgot. And
And
thank you, Duchess, for coming up here
oh, no
and talking
problem.
about it.
No problem
Especially
at
the
all.
Jeffrey Dahmer thing, cause
Yeah,
that's just
I'm
so.
looking forward to the
Ooh,
conversations with Jeffrey Dahmer. I want to see,
yeah.
do they got anything extra that like we didn't know and stuff like that. So that should
But it
be
seemed
kind
like
of
he didn't
crazy.
mind talking though, Duchess.
No,
It seemed like he didn't mind talking.
that's why I got a hard. That's why I don't think he did anything to Dean. That's the only reason. Oh, 7.
I think she already gone. Did she already
Did she
dropped
leave?
down? Hmm.
Oh, I can't even see the thing. That's what I was gonna say. That one guy said that was on Donahue talking about, oh, Jeffrey's first sexual experience was with his father. He told me that. I don't believe that either.
I didn't
Some
see that interview. I'm gonna have to. Is it on YouTube?
It's yeah, it's on,
Okay.
just type in Jeffrey Dahmer Donahue or whatever. But
Okay.
like the white dude, so I'm like, yeah, he said his first sexual experience was with his father. Even though his father was cracking, I mean, they had some mental um it wasn't stable going on with them, with
Mhm.
the mama and the daddy. Because you
Mhm.
taking your 6-year-old boy to get roadkill and all that kind of bullshit,
Mhm.
that's crazy.
Mhm. Child.
But they said that, I don't believe that story because I believe Dahmer, he told everything. So that's why I don't believe he did anything to Dean. And I also don't believe he would have said something about his father molesting him. Maybe that'll come out. If that's true, maybe it'll come out with the conversation with Dahmer. We'll see.
The tapes, right? The
Yep.
tapes. We're gonna have to see.
All
Oh,
right. Well,
all
thank
right,
you. Bye,
yeah.
chat. Bye, everybody. Hope y'all
All
have a
right,
great
thank you so
day.
much, Duchess. Keep looking at that House of Dragons, honey, so
Of,
we can
of,
continue
oh,
talking about it. I'm
yes, I
loving your
shall.
reviews of it.
Well,
Because when you
thank you.
started doing your reviews every week, child, I was like, okay, Duchess got it. But I really want to, if you remember what I said about Sir Kristen, because I can't
Hmm.
stand Kristen.
And I'm not book smart on Game of Thrones. I only go by what I see, but I make up my own little story, and I be just being a fool up there. Shit.
Oh
All
no,
right.
no, she be doing a good job. I be highly entertained, okay, because
Well,
I
all
be
right.
wanting to, somebody to talk about it, So
Well,
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
bring your ass up there when I go live next time or whatever. Well,
Okay, I will,
next.
especially if the episode is gonna be as good as I think it is. I sure will.
Okay. All right.
All
Have a
right.
good one.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye bye.
Wow. Yeah. We got we went off on everything. Right. We went off. I did slip that little part in there about Jeffrey Dahmer's the guy that killed Jeffrey Dahmer. I want to tell y'all about him and what I felt about him. We got that part in. I wasn't even planning on talking about House of the Dragon until Duchess popped up here. Then, of course, I'm gonna have to ask him about that. But anyway, let me talk about this last little the second. Y'all hold on for a minute. Please hit the like button. By the way, please hit the like button. Hold on one second. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. So, per the second part of the title, so, child, let me tell you about this crazy story right here, right? So, I didn't even know about the story myself till I was looking at Nick at night, and she was talking about this story, and I was like, "What?" And it's out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. I was like, "Wait a minute, what happened?" So this guy, he was living with this woman. Let me put him up right here. This guy right here, he was living with this woman, right? And she comes home one day and she catches him in the house with two men, um uh, two men. It says two men, they were wearing dresses, and they was out in the bed together, right? So, honey, she catches the man in the house with the two men. And after that, all heck break loose, right? So I pulled up the article and I took some screenshots of the article, child, and we're gonna read the article. I'm gonna read it verbatim, right? What all the article says, right? And so, y'all tell me what y'all think about this right here, right? I was like, wait, what? But child, I was like, mm-mm. So it says this happened in Chattanooga, Tennessee, like I said, right? And this happened last Tuesday, right? So it says a Chattanooga man faces assault and kidnapping charges after police say he beat his girlfriend after she discovered him cheating with two men, according to a Chattanooga police affiliate. Right? The article goes on to state that our cameras were on the scene and rolling last week on Dahlia Street as officers took 45-year-old Antonio Lamar Collier into custody after a standoff. Right? And let me find the next one. It goes on to state that, hold on one second. It goes on to state that um, a police affidavit we obtained Tuesday says Collier beat the victim, talking about the girlfriend, y'all, beat the victim after they had an argument about him performing sexual acts with two other men dressed as women, right? It goes on to state that the woman said when she discovered the scene, she wanted to leave, but Collier forced her to remain in the room, the report says. The article goes on to state that, hold on, let me pull it up. Goes on to state that, but the woman ended up going outside. Shortly after that, the report says Collier came out and struck her, causing bruises on her face and arms, like was just beating her down, right? The two men Collier was with, the one that he was in the bed with, the one in the dresses, right? The two men Collier was with managed to pull him off of the victim, the report says. So the two guys that he was in her apartment with were the same two guys that engaging in the act. Those were the two guys that had to pull Collier off the girlfriend, right? So the article goes on to state that someone called police. Arriving officers learned Collier had warrants in East Ridge, that is like another part of Chattanooga, in East Ridge, and was wanted by U.S. Marshals for questioning. So I'm like, well, dang. He was a bad boy. He already had a police record, right? So the article goes on to state that they were told Collier had fled into the woods, right? So he ran. So Collier had fled into the woods, and he probably heard the police sirens since he was outside. So he probably heard the police coming. So he ran into the woods, right? Says and they set up a perimeter, right? Which means they encircled a part of the woods where they figured he would be running, right? Says they also deployed the canine. They'll sick the canine dogs on me, y'all, right? They also deployed a canine who managed to subdue Collier so officers could put him into custody, the report says. I was like, Lord, they'll sick the canine on him. The canine that went in the bushes, that tracked him down. Child, just done mauled the life out of him. This him get you see this the top of his head, him getting into the police car, and on the actual video, you see him limping and all, and all that. That canine dog tore his butt up, right? So the article goes on to state that the woman also told officers, listen to this, y'all. The woman also told officers on the previous night she tried to leave after an argument, but said that Collier wrapped his arm around her neck and dragged her back into the apartment, not releasing immediately, Lord, not releasing her neck, y'all, immediately after he got back inside, according to the affidavit. Right? I think this is the last one. It says the victim was encouraged to call the domestic abuse hotline, but she refused, saying she'd do so later. And it says that Collier is charged with false imprisonment and 2 counts of domestic assault. So they charged him with false imprisonment. Um, I'm assuming from what happened the night before, and the 2 counts of domestic assault are from when he beat her up and held her the night before, as well as what he did the next day when she caught him in her apartment, with the 2 men or whatever. And I'm like, Lord have mercy, child. It's a lot going on. I was like, and so that is the second part of my we've been on here for 2 hours, but that is the second part of the title. I want y'all to hear that because I was like, wait, what happened, child? But anyway, so I called my sister, and hold on, y'all, I'm trying to get back to the comments. So I called my sister and I asked her about this, right? And she said that no, she don't know the guy, but she has a friend that works with the victim, the woman, right? And my sister said that her friend, they knew that the guy, the Collier guy, had been gay. They saying that a lot of them knew that he had been gay since high school, right? But that she don't understand how the victim didn't know, but they saying the victim may not have known. And they also saying that when she met Collier, when the victim met Collier, that she actually met him in prison, right? One of those, because there are still women in this world that will seek out men in prison, and when they get out of jail, they'll bring them into their home, the whole nine, right? So she actually met him when he was in prison, and so yeah, that's what happened with that. So I guess some of the people knew what he was about, but maybe she didn't. I don't know. But that was just all my sister knew about it, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god. But I'm like, wow, Lord have mercy. I found it very interesting. Very interesting. But anyway, I just want to mention that to y'all. Like I said, I had heard it on Nick at Night, and it made my ears pucker up because it said Chattanooga, Tennessee. And I was like, oh, let me go find out what happened. You know what I mean? And so I went and found the article and read it for myself. And that is the little extra that I found out about. So, yeah, I just found it very interesting. So my thing is, okay, so at first I was thinking maybe he was on the DL and he didn't want her getting out and telling nobody, right? And maybe that's why he tried to beat her up. But then, like I said, my sister said that those that were raised up, that went to school with him, had been saying that he was gay since he was in high school, right? But he's 45 years old, so child, I don't. This is, and then my sister didn't grow up down there. It's just, this is what her friends were saying. People would talk, word on the curb, that sort of thing. But then it got me to thinking about the story I did. It was maybe a year or two ago. It was about this lady. I can't. She was talking a whole bunch of stuff. Was she in Milwaukee or somewhere in Wisconsin or somewhere like that, or Indianapolis or somewhere? Where she had walked in on her, well, what she thought was her boyfriend, or she walked back to get her phone or something like that, and she caught. Now maybe it wasn't even her boyfriend; it was just some dudes that she was doing business or something. But anyway, she walked in on him, and another dude getting it on, and she went to talking about it on Facebook. Do y'all remember that story? Went to talk about went to talking about it on Facebook. And the next thing you know, the people done chased her down in the car, and she had this really nice yellow sports car or something, like they ran her off the road and killed her or something like that. But they was trying to keep her hush hush about it and all of this and all. It made me think about that story. I don't know if y'all remember that or not, but I did a video about that. I think the video, she owned a tire shop. You remember Alice? Yes, yes. I can't remember all the details, but that's exactly the incident that I'm talking about. Yeah, they killed her. They killed her, snazzy girl. But when I was reading this story and how but my thing is too, right? So maybe he didn't even want her, didn't even care. Like if people already knew. But why did he want her to stay in the room and watch? If she wanted to turn around, I got confused as to why she had to stand there and watch. Yeah, he was the weed man, right? Y'all remember that? Yeah, she added him on Facebook. And they killed her. Yeah. But this chick right here, why did he get mad because she turned around and left the room? Like, what did you want her to do? Why did you want her to stand there and watch? Did you get mad because she just turned around and went out the room? Like, I was confused. Like, I was like, well, anyway, I don't know. Why y'all think he pulled her back now? So, or was he just simply a domestic violence abuser because he had choked her out and beat her up the night before? Held her against her will. So, is that why he was it some psychological thing? By making her stand there and watch. What was that for? Like, she didn't try to shoot you or nothing. She wasn't arguing, trying to fight y'all. She simply walked out the house. And you ran out the house. You got up from what you was doing, ran out the house, hey Yusuf, and beat her down. Because she walked out the house. I was like, wow. Wow. Child, and Flora on the Curve was already that they had been saying that he was gay since he was in high school. Okay, I didn't get that, but Yusuf says nasty a demon. I heard this story. Had my thoughts. Hey Olivia, been in and out for a minute. Hey, what you think about it, Yusuf? Yusuf, why do you think he wanted her to stay in the room? Cause if she wasn't trying to argue with him or fight with him, ain't pulled no gun or no knife on him, ain't trying to chase him out her house or nothing. The only thing she did was turn around and walk out the door. What was wrong with that? What caused her to have to get a beat down for walking out the door? I don't get that. Did he want her to accept his behavior? And she wasn't interested. Like, child, snazzy, I don't know the lengths they go to stay in the closet. So do you think that's what it was, Yusuf, just to stay in the closet? He was willing to kill her that night. Wow. Oh, wow. Do you think this might have been what they were arguing before the night before? Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I didn't even think about that. But like I told you, I don't know if you heard me, Yusuf, but my sister said that the people he went to high school with, and I guess he grew up with or something, had been saying that he was gay since at least high school. So, like, in his mind, was he not out the closet? Or, like, I, I don't know. But like I said, when I first heard the story, it made me think of that girl that we was just talking about, the one that got killed for outing those guys that she was buying the weed from or whatever. I think somebody said a couple of years ago, the one that owned the tire shop. Yes, Link, I can come up a few. No, it's not too late. She'll probably be calling them in the chat. I don't know. Maybe he thought that. Let me drop this link for Yusuf, y'all. Hold on a minute. Hold on. I'm going to. Okay. Here go the link, Yusuf. Here go the link, love. And so I was like, well, why he wouldn't just let her walk away? And so, yeah. It was tripping me out. So yeah, it's the same. They do when they get caught with a trans instinct, child. Blessings to your kitchen. So yeah, child. I dropped the link, Yusuf, if you want to. Okay. Yusuf says he coming, y'all. Yeah, I would like to know his take on it because I was confused as to why she couldn't just walk away. But I didn't never put two and two together as far as maybe that's what they was arguing about the night before too. Do you see what I'm saying? So I was like, okay. Y'all know I'll be having questions, right? Y'all know I'll be having questions. So yeah, I'm like, wow, okay, all right. I was like, child, dude was acting like she done tried to pull a gun on him or something. Hold on, let me put this up just to make sure it's Yusuf. Hold on. Hey Yusuf, is this you?
Hey, yeah, it's me.
Hey love, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Hey,
So
y'all.
what you think about this whole thing, child? What's your take on it?
Well, my first take on it is instantly it ain't nothing but that demonic instinct. When you holding and suppressing and repressing and
Mm,
secrecy and degeneracy and
mm,
temptation, all those components, and with the human spirit body, and then with
mm,
socializing with others and in the world, child, these busters will kill anybody but their masters. Because you already know
mm,
I take
mm,
offense to it. I take offense to it immediately when I see how quick that a black man is willing to snap. And I'm not talking about all and every, but I'm talking
mm,
about way too many for us to have some type of peaceful community that's going to thrive forward.
mm,
Way too many that's ready to, stomp out a pregnancy or, off another brother or to come up or, something to another woman. And it's not, we don't see a lot of them doing any of this towards the clan, even with the gang activities outside. They not going after no clansmen and no stuff, nor are they passing down that stuff generationally like they're self-sworn enemies, and they
mm,
snap and click. So to me, this is a version of domestic violence in so many ways. But
mm.
again, it's that natural instinct of the shame and everything that's associated. They're literally willing to snap, crackle, and pop on you if they catch you. It's like, okay, every time they get caught with a tranny, so 9 times out of 10, you get caught with a transsexual. Every 9 and every 10 times cannot be that you didn't know. A lot of it is oftentimes, oh, well, I'm embarrassed I got caught. So they're willing to harm and kill that person. Same
Mm.
thing with women. I seen last week, it was a dude who got caught in a hotel room with another woman and he jumped out of the window. You know,
Whoa.
yeah, he jumped out of the window
How
because
come
he
he
was
got
about to get,
caught?
yeah, because he was about to get caught by his wife cheating with another woman. So you can
Mm-mm.
imagine the levels that they're ready to go. It's like when they're ready to snap on you and you can't control it.
You
They're
know
out
what? You
there.
make a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, and so they're out there, and it's like, oh well, it's out in the world now. So it was a lot of sadistic levels to that. He was already previously abusing her, and then so he tried to use that if he could as an option. He weighed his options. He saw, could he take this, what she's seeing, this traumatic experience, and take this to further brainwash her, or is he
Yeah.
going to have to take
Yeah.
this? Or is he going to have to go the other route, which he was hoping he wouldn't have to go, but he was already ready and willing to go to, which was to harm her. Make no mistake
Yeah.
that he wasn't ready to kill that woman. He was ready to kill her in that room if he would have had to. Okay.
If he
And,
would have
and
had to.
yeah, and if his mission would have been to prove to her that what she is seeing is not what she saw, he would have tried to harm them.
Oh, you know what? You're right about that. I think when it comes to the domestic violence part of it, just the domestic violence part, we know that when it comes to sometimes you will have a along with physical abuse, you will have mental and emotional abuse. And
And
when it comes to
financial.
well, and financial, and I think that when it comes to the domestic violence, just that part of it, that was the mental and emotional part. And so I don't even think it was about her being accepted of his lifestyle. I think that was just flat out abuse.
Yeah,
Do you
he
see
was
what I'm saying?
gauging her
Because he
reactions
wanted her
to
to stand there. Yeah, because he wanted her to stand there and watch. Now, she
watch.
didn't try to shoot him. Now, that man that jumped out that window about his wife catching him cheating or whatever, now, he could have been scared that she was going to come in there and pop off a couple of rounds or something, right? Or who knows what the word he thought she was going to do. So, this right here, because he had beat her up there, and who knows what they was arguing about the night before, because she didn't stay. If he was a straight man, I would still feel like when sometimes when it comes to domestic violence, we know that it is all encompassing, right? For some people, like when it comes to, especially when it gets so far as becoming physical, right? After it becomes physical, it's automatically gonna be financial or emotional, as well as mental, as well as emotional. You know what I
And
mean? All
spiritual.
of that is just a
And
whole big ball, huh?
spiritual too, because they always try to use
Yes,
God to make
spiritual
a
too.
woman submit. And so they like
Yeah.
to do a lot of that too. So a lot of these men
Hmm.
think in their mind, okay, if my wife catch me cheating with another woman, let's see if she's down with it. And if she's
Mm.
not, then you know, and so it's that same thing. And it was a
Right.
dude situation, and she probably suspected, and whether she did or not, as your sister said, whether she suspected or not, either way, this is
Hmm.
a great deal of shock. So already they try to hit you while it already hurts. You know, it's like
Right.
tell me now while I'm already hurt, while the portal was already open for the BS. Let me know
Right.
now so I can heal from this. You know, I'm gonna take it and
Right.
heal. A lot of people take this abuse, you know, and so
Hmm.
the woman in this case so shocked and appalled, don't know. So he want to see where her head's at. All right, well, where you
Hmm.
head at with it? You all right with it? All right, you ain't all right with it. So now I'm gonna whoop your ass because you're not
Right.
gonna
Right.
the world. You know, exactly. So he was willing to kill her if he would have had to. With those two men who was just literally in a dress and a tutu, sucking and bucking them, then he
Hmm.
wouldn't have, then he probably would have harmed her even further. She was literally
Hmm.
saved by the boys because they weren't
Yeah.
trans, they were mannies, they were men,
Yes.
they were
Yeah.
not trans.
They saved her. Yeah, I agree. They saved her.
Probably
It
wearing her
says in the
clothes.
article. There is ain't no telling, child, but it says in the article that the two guys that were there, they are the ones that pulled Collier him off
Exactly.
of her. And so by that time, that the police done been called. She didn't call them, but they probably heard the commotion. Like, I don't know, in the apartment building, somebody done called. That he probably done heard the police sirens because she getting beat up outside. Because remember, when she left the room, she made it all the way out the door. So somebody done called the police. He heard the sirens. That's why he ran around there in the bushes and got caught by the canine dog. But I believe that he may have killed her right there. Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Well, she
especially
got
when it
off of
comes to
work
talking
early
about
that
the
day.
domestic violence. But
She
ain't no
got off of
telling
work.
if she, check it out. I don't know if she got off from work earlier
It
that
said it
day.
in the article. She came
Oh,
home
did it say
early.
early? Oh, I didn't
Uh-huh.
know it. Did it say early? Okay,
It
I
was
took
just
it out
like
of my
Blue
mind.
Hill. I come home early,
Right,
expecting a
right.
woman
Well, she
brand
might have been
new.
looking. Well, maybe she was looking to catch something then, and she came home from work early. I didn't think I read that part, but yeah. But if she came
That's
home
how
early,
she
she was
called.
definitely looking. You know what? But what if she was? What if she didn't? um expect him as being, like gay or bi or anything like that, and she thought that he was fooling with another woman.
Right.
It could have been that scenario too.
I was thinking that as well. I was thinking that she thought it was something. She saw some type of messages, and either way, wanted to come home
Right,
and get them.
right, because who
He's the
knows.
breadwinner. He's the Dusty.
Yeah, she was definitely the breadwinner. My niece said, my sister said that was her apartment. And so yeah, it was standing reason that she's coming home from work early, or whatever. It's her apartment. Like he might not have wanted to leave this place to stay. You know what I mean? A whole lot of stuff can be. We know a whole lot of men.
Mm.
Some of these dusties, like you said around here, be with a woman just so they can have somewhere to lay their head at night. They don't
Right.
care nothing about that woman. Don't
But
give a
how
damn
low do
about her.
you have to be? How low down do you have to be staying in someone who loves you's house and
Right.
cheating on them with anybody, yet alone in there with two dudes bucking and gurking
Yeah, let alone with bringing another woman
in
into
her
your
house?
woman's house. It's the same thing. Yeah, do it all the time. But
Then
sometimes that don't end well when it comes to like the woman catching you with another one, cause it's gonna be a fight 9 times out of 10 when that go on. But that girl probably had been um so beat down by that time. Like she might not have even cared, but she
he's a
was looking for
predator.
something. So maybe she did care, but he already beating on her. So
He's
like,
predatory over her. He's predatory over her because
right,
even in the midst of this, like I said, he took advantage and tried to weaponize her shock and appall. He
right.
tried to
She had to stand there
weaponize
and
that
watch.
moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he wanted her to stand there and watch.
Exactly. Well, you're here now. I never expected you to catch me like this. What do you think? And since you're ashamed of me, now I'm going to hurt you. And
Mm.
they weren't trans. They were mannies. They were
Yeah,
men in her
they were.
clothes.
It
They was
says
wearing her
men.
shit.
Right. It was. They said it was men. And in female clothing. That's what it said. It didn't say nothing about them being trans. It didn't
And
say
you
that.
know they stick up for them trans. If it was a trans, they would have said trans and trans rights and protect them and all of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely, they would have said that. Absolutely. So yeah, absolutely agree. But I'm glad that they felt enough compassion for the girl to at least stop the dude from beating her,
Right.
because he had to been wailing on her. You know what I mean? For the people to call the police and for them to come out there and pull him off of that girl,
I
because they
wonder if
probably
the
didn't
men
even
ever
sign
met.
up for that, huh?
You know how many times we reported years ago when we met about the men at that time who were sitting around while black women were being abused by other men and non-black men,
Right,
and
right.
reporting it and standing around for the shit. So I wonder if it was the fact that they were gay that they protected that woman, because I see
That,
a lot of straight men that turn their back
hmm
on straight
That's
women.
true too. That's true too. That's true too. That's true too. Like I said, they had enough compassion because they didn't have to pull him off of her. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? They
And a
didn't
lot
have
of men
to.
won't. A lot of men won't.
And a lot of men won't. Yeah, we done seen that time and time. We done seen it was something they were talking about a couple of years ago, like on you. They were mad at the man, the black man, for protecting the woman. She was in a parking lot, I think, and the white guy was trying to attack her or something, and the black guy stepped in and stopped her from being attacked. But the other black men online was pissed at that black man for protecting that black woman. They was mad because he stepped in. So yeah, you're absolutely right about that. They didn't have to do nothing, and so yeah, you're absolutely right about. And then, like you said, maybe it's because they was gay that they stopped the guy. Because we know we see all the time here on, especially when it comes to the black manosphere and stuff, how much hate they got for black women. They call for black women's death all the time.
Right. And they always turn their eye to the abuse. They always say, like, you know how many men I've seen, even as a kid, I can remember this. They literally have grown up as watching this abuse and just kind of normalizing it so much.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just like the norm of who they are. And I really forgot the point that I was making because I wanted to ask you about this rumor. I didn't know if you heard it.
Oh, please remember the room. I really want to hear it.
I don't even know if I want to be the one to say it, but did you hear anything about CTV getting arrested?
No, huh?
All
About
right.
what?
All right, don't ask me nothing else. That's all I was asking. Just research
What?
the girl they said. I done heard some shit, and I don't know. I'm staying out of it.
What? So is just tell me this? Is it a video about it on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna find it. thank
Yeah.
you for thank you for leading me in the right. Because if it's a video out here on YouTube about it, honey, I might have to come back. I might have to come back, Yusuf, if I find it now. So be listening out, because you done led me. You done led me in a direction, because I hadn't heard nothing about
Read up
that.
on it. Read up on it because there was some controversy in it. So read up on it before you talk about it because I don't know for sure or not. That's why I'm asking.
Did it have anything to do with Larry Reed?
I don't know. I know what the girl. I can't tell you what they said it had. What the horse's mouth. I heard girl, honey.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. They said
What?
girl.
Well, no, it might not have anything to do with Larry. I mean, him and Larry Reid, I don't think they're in the same town or so. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not saying. That was just me asking y'all. CT Yusuf ain't saying nothing like that. That was just me asking. But if it's a video out here about it, I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna get the T, Yusuf. So, but I hadn't heard about that. Thank you.
Look at the back chat and delete my
hmm
comment in the back chat.
Okay, can't nobody else see it but me.
Don't
Let me look
delete
at it
that
right now.
comment.
Let me look at it right now. What?
Delete that motherfucking comment, Olivia.
Ooh, let me delete it right now. Oh my God. Well, it's gonna go away anyway. As soon as I log off the video, I can't.
No, but somebody can come up here and see it now.
Oh, ain't nobody gonna come up, baby. I'm finna close anyway. But what?
Let me
I
get out of
promise,
here.
ain't nobody gonna see it. Ain't nobody gonna see it.
Oh, they can
I wouldn't
say.
do you like that. Mm-mm.
Ooh. I'm getting
What?
out. Bye, y'all.
Oh, bye, Yusuf. Thanks for the tea, love.
Oh, it was a pleasure.
Oh. Ooh, y'all, I'm gonna have to go. Y'all was getting ready to go anyway, but child, I'm gonna have to go see what's going on around here. I had no idea. But if I find out any tea, okay, I'm gonna have to come back. That's right, extra, extra, right, Snazzy girl? No, so Yusuf said that um allegedly there is a video out here concerning CTV, aka Conscience TV, having allegedly been arrested, right? And so I'm going to have to. He said that there is a video out here on his YouTube stream, so I am going to go try to find this video and watch this video. And if probably won't come back tonight because it's after 10 o'clock. But honey, if I find that video, yes, Lady Tia child. Yes, Lady extra extra child. Exclusive breaking news child. Right. So if I find that video, I'm definitely going to come back and talk about it tomorrow. Okay. I just need to try. Oh, Seven said, oh, Lord, Seven, my house of tea. Hold on a minute. I'm dropping it right. I'm dropping it right now, Seven. Oh, Lord. Oh, child. Thanks for renewing your subscriptions, Crafts and Howard, Leela. I just dropped it, Seven. Ooh, I hope she got some tea, y'all, because, ooh. Oh, we what? Okay, Seven, I just dropped it. Seven got in the chat, y'all, that he wasn't arrested. And that's what Seven got in the chat. Hopefully she's gonna hit the link and hold on, this is her. Hold on, let me 1 second. Y'all know I gotta be extra careful because this is a good video and I don't want to do it over, child. Seven.
Yeah, it's me.
Okay, all right. So he wasn't arrested?
No, he wasn't arrested. There's a
Well, girl, what happened?
First of all, there's a rumor going around, and I think it started from Daryl Moore, but official Kingpin picked it up, and they were pretty much saying that he got arrested for prostitution. Okay. He addressed it on his live like a night or two ago, but I just thought that was like real messy. Like Yusuf came up here and said that, and now everybody's like, "Oh my God, did he get arrested?" No, he didn't get arrested. And Yusuf, you really should have provided more context to what you was talking about. That's crazy.
Oh, so this supposed to happen a couple of nights ago?
Yeah,
I didn't say he was.
yeah,
he didn't. Yeah, he didn't say. Let me clear this up. Yusuf didn't say he was arrested. He was just asking, and he wouldn't give any more info than that. And I said that I am going to try to. He just asked the question, Seven, because I hadn't even heard about it even a couple of nights ago. And as far as Daryl Moore goes, I wouldn't be surprised if Daryl Moore would come out and say something like that.
Yeah, they've all been kind of getting into it. So you got Conscious TV, you got Daryl Moore, you got Larry Reed, you got Tasha K is in it now, and then you got Lamar Bishop Whitehead, then you got King Jive. So it's a whole mess. But yeah, no, he's not arrested. He's active on Instagram right now. So
okay, well, I'm glad that he wasn't arrested. Thank God.
Yeah, no, that's information that official Kingpin came out. He did an 8-hour live. Supposedly, spilling all this tea, spilling all, Conscious TV has a record and stuff. And that's it. So.
Okay, well, let me read this, Seven, before you step down. I won't even bother. So thanks for telling me. This saved me some time and brain space, okay? Because I really was going to go look and try to track it down.
It's a really good drag. It's a step up from what's been going on in the beef sector. So it's, it's good.
Well, I don't have nothing against I don't have nothing against Conscious TV.
It's very messy. Yeah, no, I don't either. I was just like, why, the way he said it, it was almost like it was current. Like, oh, he got arrested. Like, he got arrested. Like, wait, what? You know what I mean?
Well, like, I was assuming that this is had just happened like in the last couple of hours or something. That's why I was asking if there was a video. Because then you said a couple of days ago. I didn't even know. I didn't even hear nothing a couple of days ago. So y'all know I'll be behind a lot. So let me read you this, Seven. User said I only asked if she heard about it, and I hadn't had heard if she had heard. If she heard and I didn't say the P word, prostitution, LOL, you added that, honey, to the T. No, he didn't know. Yusuf did not say prostitution. and he only asks that it's true. And
Yeah,
so yeah,
oh, yeah,
yeah,
I'm definitely gonna say it because that's what happened.
yeah,
So
yeah. I didn't.
the 15
You
thing
know.
comes out. He has all these wild accusations against Conscious TV,
Hmm.
and he
Wait, who?
suggested
Wait a minute. Wait, Seven. Who got accusations about Conscious TV?
official Kingpin. He's over there on his
Oh,
channel. He's been
well,
having a
what?
little marathon. So
Well, what do
he,
what do? Why is this you, Yusuf?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but let me ask this question first, Yusuf. Then you can go. I didn't know that King Payne and Conscious TV didn't get along. Why don't they get along, Seven? Do you know?
well, this is recent because they actually were cordial, to my
Hmm.
knowledge. But a lot of stuff has gone on with Tasha K being on the platform, and then
Hmm.
Country TV has fallen out with Tasha K ever since, and it's just it's so many different moving parts. I could sit here and
Hmm.
explain it to you, but honestly,
Mm.
it's better if you just watch to see what's going on. But
Mm. So basically, was King Payne doxing Conscious? I just want to ask that.
official King Payne has been throwing shots at Conscious TV for like a couple of days now. Initially, he
Okay.
was upset because they wouldn't say his name on their live. So
Mm.
Conscious TV and Larry Reed were talking about this YouTuber that they were speaking with in regards to like a lot of these situations. Official King Payne was upset because he's like, "Why y'all didn't say our name? Why y'all didn't say my name? Y'all know it was me that was on the phone," and that's where it all stems from. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Oh wow! I had no idea that all this was going on. See, here's my issue. When it comes to even the bishop stuff, a lot of people have been talking about it ever since the second incident with him and the woman or whatever. I didn't even talk about that because I was exhausted talking about that bishop guy. The first time, the fake robbery, which I feel like the robbery was fake. I'm gonna say allegedly it was fake in my mind. It was allegedly fake or whatever. And so, but the second time around, when all that stuff popped off, I didn't even bother with it. So is that
It
what
is a
led
lot.
to all of this?
No, it's a lot of drama. Like people are filing lawsuits. Apparently, Larry Reed is trying to serve Tasha K with a lawsuit, but can't.
Over there in Ghana?
Man, I don't know what's going on, but
She
it's
coming back.
She coming back?
Yeah, she only on vacation.
Oh, okay. Now,
But
see, I don't even know that story. I ain't even gonna lie. I didn't even
it,
bother
it
with that situation.
it's a lot transpiring between all of them.
it's
So
all
Child.
orchestrated, though. I think it's all orchestrated because the whole gig of the game is to get everybody to talk about you. But I do want to
Ooh.
graciously say hello, 7 stars. I've been a fan for about a year and a half. So,
hi,
you know,
Yusha.
I am subscribed to your channel and I do catch your videos here and there and I do be listening to you. And so, and I'm glad you cleared that up. That's what I was hoping that Olivia heard some shit. That's why I was saying
Yeah.
they said that he got locked up for prostituting and I didn't know what to believe. And I only said, and I put it in the back chat because then they're going to go tell everybody that you had to check me because I said that he got arrested for hoeing.
No,
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 That
you
ain't
didn't
how
say
it
that.
went.
No,
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 you did
no.
not say that. No,
Yeah, that's
you
not
didn't
even
say
the
that.
type of situation. That's why I use the words that I use. Like, hey, you probably should have just added a little bit more context because I'm not on
It
that
was in
type
the
of
back
thing.
chat.
No,
And
no,
I
no.
wasn't
I
gonna
just
say
came up
nothing.
here. I just came up here. I
Yeah,
don't know what's going on in the back chat, but
right.
that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to clarify what was going on because the way that it was almost like a cliffhanger. It's like, oh, did you hear
Mm.
you got arrested? Okay, do your research. Gotta
Oh,
go. Bye.
Right.
yeah, it was a, it was.
I did do that. I
Yeah, that
did
was
do
me.
that. You're right.
Now
It
that was
was
me
that.
because yeah, because I was damn sure gonna go try to find out because I didn't like I said the seven came up here. Yusuf, I don't know if you heard her. She said it had been going on for a couple of days, and you probably didn't even know it had been going on for a couple of days
Because
because
I've been
I sure
working.
didn't.
And I
Right, and
love
I
me
didn't
some
know.
conscious TV too. But I tell you what,
But
if
yeah,
something got arrested with me, he will be over there reporting it. If something got arrested with you, he'll be over there reporting it. So
true,
we
true,
just wanted to
facts,
clear it up.
facts,
He
facts.
wasn't arrested for hoeing. He get away with it.
Well, if I look,
All of this is alleged. I don't know what the hell is going on. I
right,
don't know who's been
allegedly.
arrested for. Yeah, I don't know who's been arrested for
Well,
what
somebody said
conviction.
Seven. I don't know if you've seen this. I think it was Kim. She says that's what Daryl Moore said in his video today. That the arrest happened in 2017. She said Daryl Moore says CTV was arrested for that for alleged
Oh,
prostitution in 2017.
okay. So
Daryl
it was
Moore post
old.
has said that today.
It was old doxing. I got you. Well, how do you
Mm.
feel, Seven? How do you
Yeah,
feel about that? With him and Tasha K falling out. Tasha K was just talking about how she was on her last leg with the gays, and then she fell out with him.
Tasha K's not on her last leg with the gays, but it's one of those things like when it happens in the moment, yeah, you're gonna be up there talking shit. So I think that's what transpired. But like
Right.
I said, they're all getting into it. I like a lot of those people. I'm not finna get in the middle of it. I know what to
Mm.
do. That's it, and that's
Right.
all. I'm staying up out of it
Yeah.
because I like a lot of them. You know, even Storm
Yeah.
Monroe, she got into it with Storm. I fuck with Storm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
didn't even fool with that either. I didn't fool with that
yeah,
either. I don't
But
be knowing
you're
the
very
origin
neutral
stories. What
because
my thing is, if I was still over there on the entertainment side, I probably would have know the origin story. And so since I don't know the origin story, I don't comment on none of it. You know what I mean? That's why
sometimes
y'all
that
don't hear
makes
me
you the
talking
better.
about it.
Sometimes that makes you the better commentator on what's going on. You know, like when y'all can be
Well,
diplomatic like that. Because I can't.
well,
Cause,
I mean,
mm-mm.
it's different. Like when it come over here to like if I was in the entertainment, yeah, I want to tell, like in my opinion, I did the research on this, and because I actually went and looked it up, and this is what I think about A, B, C, and D. You know what I mean? When I was over there, and if I was still over there, I would, be doing it like that, over there, and that's why I was like, even when you said, did you hear it? No, I didn't hear. Number one, but let me go look it up. Do you see what I'm
Right.
saying? Let me go look it up, and then thank God Seven came up here and cleared it up. So now I ain't got to look it up.
okay.
Right.
Before
But
you
thank you,
leave.
Yusuf, for letting me know. Because see, what y'all doing is making me wanting to go back and pay attention to the whole thing. It's too many people getting thrown in the fray. Like it's a lot. It's like it's a snowball going down a hill, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And who was it? Somebody up here just put in. Snazzy Girl said the whole situation seems like sensationalism. But because the thing keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'm like, how do they go from the bishop to Tasha K and her out of town, but her coming back to
Right.
CTV, this allegation to Larry Reed? It's like going
Well, what does
to
Larry Reed?
Payne to
What does
Payne.
Larry
It's
Reed want to sue her for? For
Storm
putting him
Monroe.
out the
I don't know.
closet?
I mean, didn't everybody know? Child, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm
I'm gonna say it. They said he came out the closet and he already had a toe out the door with a ballerina gown on. They already knew
but
he was gay.
But I assumed it's the first time I had seen a Larry Reed video, right? And I hadn't even never heard of like a Larry Reed or a what is that man's name? King Jives and all of them, Yusuf. The first time I seen a Larry Reed, I'm thinking, well, okay, he gay. But then they were saying that he wasn't gay, and I'm thinking, no, no, he gay. So, but coming out the closet, I just assuming that he was like openly gay or something. But
Me
hey,
too.
that's just me.
If you
Okay,
automatically think somebody is gay and it comes out that they was, that means you knew it the whole time.
What you say, Seven?
before I'm about to get up off of here, but I want to bring something to your attention real quick, Olivia.
Mhm.
I'm watching Game of Thrones right now, the last
Mhm.
episode, right? I'm looking
Okay.
at those two boys, and I'm looking at the Herwin guy and Sir Christian Cole, like in that one scene where they were all together.
Mhm.
I'm looking at the younger boy. His hair is curly, just like his father's hair.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking at the older boy, and
Mhm.
his hair is more like Sir Christian Cole. So that is his son.
Right.
That is his son.
Right. Well, they
But
alluded to it. With
yeah,
the whole drink. Did she drink? Did she drink the tea, or did she
that's
drink the
what I was
tea?
trying to tell Duchess. But you know he's shady. But I'm gonna prove him wrong. He already know that is her son. But that's it. I'm about to get off of here. You guys have
Yeah.
a good
Well,
night.
thank you, Seven. Thanks for coming up. I appreciate you.
All right, bye, Yusuf. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Well, Yusuf Seven that came up here, honey, and saved us both a lot of time because I know you didn't know nothing about all of these twists and turns either, just like I didn't with this Daryl Moore, and then add in the Tasha K, add in the Larry Reed, add in the who else was it?
CTV.
Payne, add in the Storm Monroe, on the CTV, even down to the Bishop. I'm like, what?
All the gay males, and then Tasha and the Bishop.
And then, and then Tasha, and then you know what they were allegedly saying about her husband years ago. You remember that?
Tasha cool with the Bishop.
Oh, so Tasha cool with the Bishop? No, I'm saying, they were.
Bishop. Yeah, Tasha.
No, I didn't. I had no idea. I had no. See, I didn't even know that. After I heard that. Is the Bishop guy? Does he have a YouTube channel yet? Because if he don't, he should.
I don't know, but I ain't gonna view it because he trash. But I'm sure he probably do with that dirty ass Chinese chicken church.
Oh, ain't that church just trifling? Oh, that's just trifling. You up in that raggedy looking church with a Gucci outfit on and $1 million worth of jewels?
Girl, God ain't coming up in no dump.
Okay. I'm thinking, are these people blind that's giving you money? Like, I'm confused because you ought to have a mega church with as much jewelry that he would. The jewelry alone, honey, is enough for him to build a better church.
But you know where he got the money from. And this is my thing. He got the money from all of them scams and all the government, because in America, all you got to do is claim something as a Christian organization. It's a lot of leniency.
You don't have to pay taxes on it.
Christian nation. You
don't pay taxes on it. You don't pay taxes on that money, right. Either. So yeah, that too, like you said, with all the scams and all that. But just for his parishioners, you know what I mean? Because they're the ones that's going to this little shabby thing every Sunday, and they're the ones seeing him with all this flashy jewelry on and all these flashy clothes on. They are actually there in the presence of it. It's one thing for us to be online watching it from a distance, but to actually be going to the church and not questioning why y'all going to church in something that looks like it's condemned, and he wearing a $1 million worth of attire, from the shoes to the suit to the jewelry. That don't make sense.
$1 million, Olivia. He didn't offered $1 million 2 different times to be able to put the paws on some other black men. Larry Reed, he wanted to fight, and that was after he challenged D.L. Hughley. They was both $1 million battles. I said I want to whoop his ass for $1 million. Now I'll take a point.
Okay.
But you got $1 million to beat ass, but you ain't got no money to build up that church.
To get up out of his storefront, it looked like it's condemned. Right. Private poverty pimping, child. That's why I didn't even pay that fool no attention this second time around. I was like, you know what? And I'm thinking, is he auditioning for a YouTube channel? Because he's very popular around here to black YouTube, honey.
Listen, but you remember when he got robbed and it looked fake in the staged, right?
Yes.
But listen, pay attention. He had more anger and more animosity and more of a defense tactic and ready to fight the woman and not the men who were in there who were allegedly trying to harm him. Mind you, it looked fake, but let's just say it was real. Men are in there with guns trying to rob you, and you're crying and running scared. But a woman is in there walking towards you for prayer and understanding, and you scratch her neck from the back.
Oh, that's the truth. Oh, Yusuf, you better stop.
I'm getting out
right
of
about that.
You're
right, Yusuf. Well, at least Seven came up here and explained it to us. So, because I'm not doing no research on all of that. I would never find the origin of that. It's too many people involved. And like, was it Kim or Snazzy Girl said, it sounds like a whole bunch of sensationalism. Now this Daryl Moore, ain't that the cigar guy? He the cigar guy involved. It's a lot going on. I can't do all that.
They want their names and titles, and that's all.
Yes. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, it's never that serious, especially that whole little crew right there. And they always talking about, I'm gonna sue this person, I'm gonna sue that person, and just whatever. Right. You right, Yusuf. Just thank you for the tea, child.
My pleasure, and I'm glad Seven came up here too, because it was about to be an 8, 9, and 10 out this thing. Because I was about to talk about it too once I got some receipts.
Yeah, I was headed to do my research, because like I said, when it come to stuff like that, I want the receipt. I want the receipts. Do you see what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
care. Y'all see what happened to Wendy Williams? She went talking about everybody's life, and now her whole life and story and her being the topic then drove her crazy. Y'all better
Yes,
watch out who y'all be talking about in everybody's business if your heart ain't in the right place and you ain't
yeah, that's
gifted to
true
do
too.
this.
And check this out, Yusuf. Check this out, though, about Wendy. I'm glad you said that. And I'm gonna let you go because I got to. I can't believe I've done been on here almost 3 hours. I
You've done
tried to
it
do a quick
before.
Dahmer video, child. I know I done it before, child. But look, if you notice, as far as Wendy go, it's like we know that Wendy, was doing the drugs and all this and all that, right? But I think that it's something demonic behind it because it's like when they was done with Wendy, they not only had to shut her up, they got to get her all. The industry got to get her all the way out the way. And you know how Shady Cat Williams said the industry will do you, child. And I'm thinking, ooh, what is really going on with Wendy? It's
she
more than
knew it too.
drugs.
She knew it too. She underestimated her opponent.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I agree, Yusuf. I agree with that. She absolutely underestimated her opponent. And they know Wendy talked too much, so they should have to shut her completely down. Completely.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
And I hope
Well,
she
all
get
right,
better.
child. I hope she get better too. She
Yeah.
just need to charge it to a game. Charge it to the game, child. Charge it to the game. Because you know they try to drive Cat crazy when he started talking and try to put him in jail and everything.
Mm-hmm. It's just a man.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, let me drop
Very
that.
interesting, child. But
My
anyway,
pleasure.
thank you, Yusuf. Thank you.
Good to catch you.
Okay. Bye bye, love.
Peace.
All right, y'all. We have been on here almost 3 hours. I don't have to go track down some tea because Yusuf brought it to my attention. It was very interesting. Seven came up here and gave me the Cliff Notes version, gave all of us the Cliff Notes version of it. And child, that means it's something that I ain't got to go back and look at that. Not only that, it's too many players involved. And like Snazzy Girl said, this sound like sensationalism. It's too many people. There's too many people involved, all these content creators, and I'm thinking, is this Bishop guy, like I said, child, is he finna branch out to YouTube? And he good Judy's with Tasha K, and I'm like, well, what? What's going on? Child, I guess time to tell. We're gonna have to see is the Bishop gonna fire up him an old YouTube channel and start scamming the kids online. He gonna leave the storefront, child, and find it easier to do at home, easier to do from home, child. Okay, because we know that there's a lot of that going on around here too, right? So we just gonna have to wait and see, because it sure seemed to me like he auditioning, especially if he cool with Tasha. Maybe Tasha might be schooling him how to get his channel started. Maybe why the story is, maybe that is the reason why all of this stuff is so sensationalized, you know. But yeah, child, we just got to sit back and watch. But now I ain't got to go search and dig, and because I didn't know this was going on a couple of days ago, okay, and I wouldn't have known about it now had Yusuf not come up here. So anyway, that was that on that. But at least we had us something juicy to talk about for a little quick minute. Okay. But anyway, I'm gonna get off of here. Thank y'all for sticking with me this long. Please hit the like button on your way out the door. If you haven't already, please have a wonderful day tomorrow. I hope y'all are joining me in when it comes to praying for Florida, the whole state of Florida. And I'm praying that this ain't gonna turn into another Hurricane Katrina situation. My goodness, especially for people that don't have no way of getting out of town. But I hope, if they don't have no way, I hope they heard me when I say y'all go to one of these public buildings, like a hospital or a fire department or a police station, and because this state is under a state of emergency, they cannot turn you away legally from these buildings, right? They might try, but legally they ain't supposed to turn you away. And on that note, I'm going to talk to you guys later. Bye bye. Peace.